A journey begins with one small step. It doesn't matter how hard you hit, whether you win or lose. What matters is that you have a common goal. And to reach that goal, it takes a band of brothers acting as one. Every week, we come together to witness these gladiators of the gridiron pour their heart and soul into the field. This is Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet.
Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet, cruises into North Charleston, where tonight 3-0 Fort Dorchester hosts 1-1 the Wando Warriors. Hi, everybody. I'm ABC News 4's Dean Stevens. Joining me tonight, Everett German. And it is one of the oldest sport cliches around. We don't rebuild, we reload. But in Fort Dorchester's case, that is exactly what they do here.
Yeah, in their last 46 contests, the Patriots have won 43 of them. Steve LaPrade has done a phenomenal job building this program. You get to see this program up close tonight.
People thought they would miss DeCarrion Joyner. Not so much. They are DeCarrying on just fine without him with their quarterback, DeAndre Sabb. Tasked to stop him tonight, the man in the middle for Wando.
Yeah, Justin Pielick, the middle linebacker, young man, leading this team in tackles, a guy that just always seems to be around the football. They'll need a big night from him tonight.
Absolutely. Also leads the team with 5 sacks. As for the man in the middle for Fort Dorchester, seeing him on the field, he looks like a man.
Yeah, Mr. Gilmore, young man. Last week I had a chance to see him. 15 tackles, Dean, just all over the place. If the ball's there, you will see Gilmore tonight.
Steve LaPrade said he just likes to thump people. Will Fortnite? Will that be the case here with Fort Dorchester? Just another Friday night at North Charleston? We'll find out when toe meets leather and kickoff. The Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Welcome back to Fort Dorchester, everyone. One of the better sights in high school football. The Patriots come riding in on their buses with a police escort and then onto the field in a cloud of smoke. This team 46-3 in their last 49 with a state championship under their belt. Steve LaPrade has certainly got it going. We begin tonight with our Cruz Chevrolet keys to the game, Everett, and there are a couple of big ones for both sides.
Yeah, for the Wando Warriors, fortify the defense. They have to stop Fort Dorchester from making the big plays tonight offensively and play mistake-free football. A very good Fort Dorchester team, a beatable team, but Wando can't help them. For Fort Dorchester, the quarterback, DeAndre Saab, DeAndre the Giant, can't have that sophomore slump, has to continue to play well. Last week, scoring all 4 touchdowns for the Fort.
You know, I think we've had this discussion early on with Scotty at the beginning of football season. Who was going to miss who the most? You know, like Leo Albano at Bishop England. Would they miss him more than Fort Dorchester would miss DeCarrion Joyner? And to see what DeAndre Saab has done has been amazing to me. I mean, he's got 13 touchdowns already, responsible for 15 of them.
Like I said, last week, Dean, they played the team Vera out of Florida, and he had a very Tim Tebow-esque performance. Only completed 2 passes, but rushed for well over 150 yards, had all 4 touchdowns. He's not DeCarrion Joyner yet, but he has kind of filled in nicely for Mr. Joyner.
But he does have that ability that DeCarrion did, which was to, I'm going to either beat you through the air or I'm going to beat you on the ground, and at the end of the day, I'm going to beat you badly.
And sometimes you just have to be able to make plays. When you're in that position in terms of being a quarterback, when things break down, you have to be able to continue to make plays.
Game time temperature 80 degrees here, brought to you by Roper St. Francis, where experience matters. So Fort Dorchester won the toss. They decided to take the kickoff in the second half. Wando will be receiving the kickoff. Your first half kickoff brought to you by Aim High Kickoff, brought to you by the United States Air Force. The ball taken at the 5-yard line. I believe this is Dylan McCarthy taking it out to the 25.
Yeah, nice start, big positive return for the Wando Warriors, and now we'll get a chance to see this Wando offense that put up 50-plus points last week against Stahl in the win.
First week they played Somerville, lost 34-8. It was a 20-8 game into the third quarter. Jimmy Noonan said his guys just wore out, and that's something depth-wise that we'll talk about as this game goes on. Reed Garris, the sophomore quarterback for the Warriors. Hands it off inside for about 4-yard gain up the middle.
Dean, the one thing you're going to see from this Fort Dorchester defense is you're going to see a lot of white hats around the ball. This team, they run sideline to sideline. They have speed. They have size. Everything you would want in a defense. Very rarely will you see just one guy at the ball.
And that's what speed will do for you. That front line for Fort Dorchester reads off 201, 291, 271, and 236.
Some big boys up front for the Patriots.
2-yard gain by Harris. Threat to catch the ball out of the backfield as well. They go right back to him, and as you talked about, just a lot of white helmets and blue shirts as Harris picks up +4 to make that about 3rd and 4 right now. And we talk about moving the chains. It is a must for this Wando football team.
Joel Seaman and also Daquan Robinson there first for the Patriots. But when you're right, Dean, when you can extend these drives and keep this high-powered Fort Dorchester offense on the sideline, that's going to give you a good chance. So just continue to, as they say, kind of shorten this game and limit the possessions for the Patriots.
Three receivers in formation for Garris. Flag comes down as the clock hits 0. And we talked about at the very top of the broadcast, they've got to be mistake-free. Jimmy Noonan and about 4 of his coaches are about 30 feet onto the field, and he was pointing to the shot or to the game clock. And that anger is not directed toward the official, by the way.
Yeah, I think they're going to instead award Wando the timeout and wave the flag off. I think that's what Jimmy Noonan was saying to Reed Garris, the quarterback. You have to look at the play clock and know the situation at hand.
10:25 on the game clock. Let's crunch some numbers here. Brought to you by Anderson Brothers Bank. Last 5 meetings, take a look. Not pretty. Fort Dorchester outscored Wando 250-34 in just those last 5 games. And Jimmy Noonan told me on the phone the other day, it has certainly becomes a mental part of the game as well, losing 68-7 last week.
And you know, when you look at that, you think, oh my goodness, 250-34 over the last 5 years. But quite honestly, you could take Wando out and put any other team in there, except maybe Dutch Fork, and the results would be the same.
So 3rd and 4, ball on the 32. Garrison shotgun. Going to give it back to Harris. So the Garris to Harris connection, handing off 3 straight times, going to result in a 4th down. The punt team coming out for Wando.
I think Stephen Herron and also Daquan Robinson once again there to lead the charge for that Patriot defense. And if you're Steve LaPrade and your coaching staff, that's exactly what you want. Get a 3 and out and allow your offense to take the field.
Kellen Noonan punting for Wando, back deep for Fort Dorchester. There's a high punt, floating out of bounds. We'll spot it about the 42. And that is where Fort Dorchester will take over.
As we've seen over the years, this Patriot offense, a lot of explosive plays. We talked about it in the pregame, Dean, the importance of Wando really making Fort Dorchester work for everything and not give up those big plays. From a mental standpoint, I think it's key for this Wando team to get off to a quick start defensively, give themselves a chance there in the second half.
So for Dorchester, the officials actually going to mark the ball at the 50-yard line. Fort Dorchester not going to be in a huddle as we take a look at a WOW starting lineup. Now for the WOW whole home Wi-Fi starting lineup. No slow zones, no dead zones, just WOW zones. And Fort Dorchester wants to go fast, led by their quarterback, DeAndre Sabb. He's going to look right, find right. That's going to be number 11, Antoine Parker, with the pickup. Call it just about 10 yards, and they will move the sticks.
Yeah, Jack Carson there on the coverage for the Warriors. Last week, Fort Dorchester only completed 2 passes for 51 yards, yet they were still able to put up 29 points on the board.
This time they'll go back inside to Khalil Jenkins. Nice tackle inside by number 42 for Wando. That's Jake Fetchin, the linebacker.
And so it looks like Jaleen Edwards also on the stop for the Warriors. And, you know, again, you want to make Saab throw the football. His specialty is running. If you can make them put it in the air, then you'll give yourself a chance.
That's going to come up a little bit short. It is a forward pass, no fumble there. Ball dies when it hits the ground. Looking for Parker again. I mean, the wide receivers for Fort Dorchester, you take a look at them. I mean, they're 6'3", Chaz Jones 6'1". He's the speedster. Then you get to the outside, you got a 6'4" kid. So they've certainly got the size to separate the defense. Little pitch inside to Chaz Jones. He's got the speed, but another great play by Jake Fetchin, the linebacker, pursuing the ball.
What a stop. We talk about running sideline to sideline. That defense of the Wando Warriors did their job on this opening possession, Dean. 3 and out. So far, both defenses able to get the best of both offensive units. That's a huge series in terms of confidence building for this Wando defense.
Yeah, just about a 4-yard pickup there by Chaz Jones, senior. They'll bring out the punt crew. Darius Caper punting. Darius Caper punting for Fort Dorchester. Deep is Will Pickren for Wando, standing at about the 11-yard line.
Wow.
Some great coverage. Looks like they are going to down it at the 1-yard line. So Fort Dorchester out after 4 plays, Wando after 3. As we go to break, it's a 0-0 game. You're watching Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. All right, now for the Wow Whole Home Wi-Fi starting lineup for Wando. No slow zones, no dead zones, just Wow zones. 4 seniors, 6 juniors, a sophomore on the offensive side of the ball. As for Fort Dorchester's defense, this is the scary part. 3 seniors, that's it. 6 juniors. They're pretty fast, pretty good. 4th straight handoff to Will Harris. Can't turn the corner, does for about a yard.
And back to the special teams play, they teach you, Dean, you want to get down, put your heels on the end line, or excuse me, I should say the goal line, and to make sure that you don't allow the ball to get into the end zone. So that was perfect execution by the Fort Dorchester punt team to pin this Wando team and make them drive the length of the field.
Two running backs set to each side of Garris. He's going to hand off to the outside, go back inside. That's number 28, Jaden Singleton, picks up maybe another yard or 2. Against Somerville, Wando with just 1 total rushing yard, trying to establish the run here early on against Fort Dorchester.
And while they're doing that, they're also allowing that clock to continue moving, and they're having positive plays every single time. So, as they say, the old days of getting 3 yards in a cloud of dust, you do that 4 times, and you're going to have a first down.
Looks like somebody jumped on the far side. I think that was Manny Johnson. When you are 6'5" and 236 and you get forward motion going, it's hard to miss.
Yeah, that's nowhere to hide when you're that big, Dean. But that does help this Wando offense. Now 3rd down and 2, a very makeable 2 yards. And this is where those offensive linemen, they have to fire off the ball, get those pads nice and low, and pick up a first down here to continue this drive.
Go back inside. Harris going to be awfully close. I think they got enough for the first down. Picked up probably 2.5. Let's take a jump down to the sideline and introduce our 3rd man to this broadcast crew tonight. ABC News 4's Chris Nessman. Chris.
They've actually been one of the big sponsors of the Peanut Butter Jelly Drive, which has been a huge competition between local high schools. So, Mr. Singleton, sir, tell me, why did you guys get involved in PB&J of all things?
Well, this is just a great opportunity for us to do some things to help the community. And the PP&J campaign was one that was tried in Chattanooga, and we sought to outdo Chattanooga in the Low Country. And so far, this campaign has gone great. Actually, it's exceeded our expectations. And I understand tonight was the most we've raised so far, about 7,000 pounds. So that's a great job by Fort.
I was going to say, that was going to be my next question. So, I mean, how successful has it been not only just tonight, but over the past, couple of weeks or so?
It's done really well. Each week it's gotten tremendously better. And so we hope that next week with Bishop England and Timberland, that we challenge them to even exceed what we did tonight. So it's been great.
Awesome. Well, speaking of that, we're going to go ahead and present a check because tonight's winner of the Cinevis PB&J Blitz is actually Fort Dorchester. They raised just over 7,000 pounds of peanut butter and jelly, 7,037 pounds, in fact. So we'd like to congratulate both schools for participating, Fort Dorchester and Wando. And congratulations especially to Fort Dorchester.
All right, Chris, thanks so much. 7,000 pounds of PB&J.
I mean, that's a lot. That's my favorite sandwich. With a glass of milk, you cannot beat that. That's a lot of peanut butter and jelly, and you have to think, looking at the size of this Fort Dorchester football team.
They've got plenty?
I think they maybe have maybe had a couple partaken in just a little bit of the peanut butter and jelly, but a good job by both schools.
Good job by Wando here, pounding it inside, finding something to like. First pass by Garris, doesn't see anything. Pocket collapses and collapses quickly. That is big 94, Dion Ladson.
And you have to give credit to this Wando offensive coaching staff. They've called a nice game thus far, really kind of just keeping Fort Dorchester off balance and using a lot of misdirection to kind of maybe take advantage of the athleticism and the aggressiveness of Fort Dorchester. So a big 3rd down coming up here for the Warriors.
Well, you talked about positive plays. That was the first negative play they've had in this game. But again, the important part here, clock is ticking.
To shorten the game. Shorten the game as best as you can.
3 receivers going to throw it back. I think that's a live ball, Everett. And the referee, the officials are going to say, nope, dead ball. Looked awfully close to throwing it behind his position, trying to find Will Harris.
And look at this Wando offense. The quarterback, Reed Garris, 29 for 52 coming into tonight's game for 307 yards, 3 TDs, and 3 interceptions. So very, from what I hear, probably a really good baseball player as well. Already starting to get some Division I looks on the baseball diamond. So a great athlete.
That ball looks like it's blocked inside, and it's a live ball. Noonan looked like he went to jump on it, but it's still squirting around there. Looks like
recovered by the Fort.
Hoy Simmons came all the way up to recover that block punt. We talk about mistake-free. This is one of them.
Hey, you just can't take that many steps as a punter. You got to get that off a lot quicker. You knew that Fort Dorchester was coming in. A nice job coming off the edge. Kassan Edwards there to get the block and give the Patriots outstanding field position on their second drive.
You give him a short field to work with. Saab's going to give it to Jenkins inside. He's going to pick up 10 on the play. Jenkins just a junior, 5'7", 192.
He, too, had 100 yards rushing last week. It was really him and Saab doing all the damage on the ground. Kind of a scat back, a guy that can just kind of slither through the holes, as you saw right there. Did a nice job of running through those arm tackles and getting into the second level.
Picked up 9 yards, not 10. Or they did give him the first down, so it's going to be 1st and 10 from about the 17-yard line. Jenkins remains behind Saab. Going to go back to Jenkins, and a nice play inside. I believe that's number 56, Tucker Rose.
Yeah, great penetration by the front four of the Wando Warriors. They've really done a nice job of pushing this offensive line of the Fort Dorchester Patriots back. So if they can continue to get pressure in the backfield and, again, force Saab to put the ball in the air, Wando's going to give themselves a chance tonight.
I think Jimmy Noonan was worried a little bit about his secondary, just the height differential between those wide receivers of Fort Dorchester and his defensive backs. So make it 2nd and 12 from the 19.
So you got him behind the sticks here now, Dean. So absolutely, Wando has got to keep them out of the end zone.
Saab's back, looking left, throws left, going to be a little bit short. Trying to find his receiver. That's Chaz Jones.
Speaking with the Wando coaches before the game, Dean, as we take a look at the replay here, nice throw, but again off target, low, and a big 3rd down and 12 coming up. This Wando defensive staff, they thought they had a game plan, Dean, to slow down this Fort Dorchester offense, and so far so good for the Warriors.
It's a 3rd down. Saab out of the backfield with the option to run it. He's going to find a crease inside, get down to just about the 8-yard line. Looks to be short of the 1st down.
Nice tackle. This time by Jake Fetchin as well as Austin Singleton. And Wando now doing a nice job of getting a lot of white helmets on the football. Look at that pursuit by that Wando defense. No one guy trying to bring down Saab, and they forced a 4th down and 3, and it looks like the Patriots are going to go for it.
4 receivers. Keep an eye on Antoine Parker.
I'm going to watch for the run up the middle here, Dean. Looks like they maybe just want to spread this Wando defense and have Saab take off up the middle.
It's a 3-4 defense. In fact, he's going to go left, throw left. He's got Jenkins set up on the screen, and he's not going to get it. 4 Wando jerseys.
Wow.
And a huge 4th down stop after Fort Dorchester had prime field advantage after that block punt.
Yeah, 6 Wando defenders there to make that stop. They read that play perfectly. Fort Dorchester tried to throw a little screen off to the left, and Wando was there. What a job by this Wando defense to, as you mentioned, Dean, despite having bad field position, they were able to keep the Patriots out of the end zone.
Calling our man Justin Palik's name for the first time. He read it the entire way. So Wando's going to take over at the 12-yard line with a $1:33 on the clock.
Will Pickering as well as Tucker Rose also there to lead the charge for the Warrior D.
Using the backfield, going to take it back up the middle. Or Will Harris, should I say, excuse me.
Jaden Gardner and Darrell Ware there on the stop for the Patriots. When you look at it, Dean, right now 1:15 left to play in the first quarter, and Wando very different from what we've seen in the past 5 years against Fort Dorchester, falling behind so big early on. Looks like if they can protect the ball here, they'll go into the second quarter still in this ball game.
Fort Dorchester showing blitz. And there he goes, Harris to the outside. He's going to break it for about 20 yards to the Wando side. Number 20 able to drag him down. That's Khalid Gadsden. But Fort Dorchester was showing a blitz. It looks like they paid dearly for it.
I like the way Will Harris protected the ball. He covered it up with 2 hands, was determined not to lose it as he made his dash towards the sideline. Will Harris, my first time seeing this young man tonight, but very impressed with the 5'11" junior running back for Wando.
So they'll start 1st and 10 from the 33. The clock at 38 seconds. Go right back to him, and why not? There's Devin Gilmore putting him on the ground, but not after he picked up 6 yards.
Harris has been the workhorse for the Warriors thus far and doing a great job of toting the mail.
Tonight, Fans Cam brought to you by Zaxby's. Tonight is Togoli Greek night in the fan section. Steve LaPratt said he's never been around a fan section, student section, quite like he's got right now. This side of the stands just packed. Great support here for Fort Dorchester.
That's usually what happens when you win, they come.
So that's going to be the end of the first quarter. It is a 0-0 game after both Fort Dorchester and Wando. A couple of drives stalled out. Wando now on the move. You're watching Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruise Chevrolet. Hey, welcome back, everybody. A 0-0 game as Wando really has dominated the first quarter of play, running off 14 plays. Let's go down to the sidelines with our Chris Nestman. We have our David Ayler Law Office Educator Spotlight. Chris.
Hey, thanks, Dean. That's right. It's been a great game so far. And right here, we're actually here with the host principal, Trip Aldredge from Fort Dorchester. How are you doing, sir?
Doing great. Thanks for being here tonight.
No, thank you for letting us here. It's been a great night. It's actually not too hot out here. So tell me, Principal Aldredge, Fort Dorchester, 2,300 students, a lot going on. What are some of the big things that your high school has going on, even just within the next few weeks?
So we're really excited. We know you're here for football, and that's a big thing for us. We tend to have great athletic programs, and we've really been trying to focus on capitalizing on our academics, our IB programs, AP programs. In fact, we raised the graduation rate coming into this year. So we're really excited about that. And probably more importantly, we've asked our students to really step up their leadership. You saw it tonight with the PB&J Challenge, giving back to the community, getting our students involved, our service clubs, Patriot Rush today, a huge event we had during lunch for all the students to find out about clubs, find something they're passionate about, get plugged in at the school, and really try to build that sense of community and teach them about leadership and just being better citizens.
I think that's fantastic because once you get in the real world, you realize there is such an importance for leadership and just those skills. So, what kind of results are you seeing? Are you seeing those students take those and learn from it?
Absolutely. Our students are stepping up and really starting to show. Like I said, the PB&J Challenge was huge for us. Really had a lot of students come in, and we have our Patriot Pride Club. And we honor those students for doing the right thing, for getting caught doing something good, showing off those leadership qualities. Also, tonight's our Hall of Fame night, so we had lots of Patriot alumni that we're honoring, bringing them back and seeing what they've done after they leave our school and go out into the world. And so that's a great model for our current students to see what they can aspire to be.
Okay, well, I think that was fantastic. The rule of thumb in news is typically no news is good news. Well, in this case, the news is good news. In fact, with that, we want to present to you, Principal Aldridge, with a check for $500 for your school. So, thank you.
Thank you. It's our pleasure.
It's been a fantastic night. Dean, we'll turn it back over to you.
Chris, thanks very much. My TV Charleston, ABC News 4, proud to present each participating home school a check for $500. This grant provides each school with extra funding to help make their school great. Over the past 8 seasons, Friday Night Rivals and our sponsors have donated $85,000 to Low Country students and schools. Congratulations from My TV Charleston, ABC News 4, and Friday Night Rivals.
Good to see Raleigh Hills up and being assisted off the field. 6'5", 335 pounds. That, my friend, is what we call a grown man.
Mm-hmm. I call that a big grocery bill as well. He got hurt on the play. It was 3rd and 2. Garris kind of went in behind his running back Harris and kind of right up the middle behind Nathan Jacks, the center, and Riley Hills. Comes up a yard short. It's going to bring a punter back out.
It's going to be Andrew Wild this time. They're going to give him a shot, maybe getting the punt off a little quicker and not allowing it to get blocked.
The line drives. That's going to be Quay Simmons. Takes it to the right side, to the left side. Pelik going to grab him and throw him down at the 84-yard line. Flag is thrown on the back side of the play, though. Let's see what it is.
You also have one here at the Wando 39-yard line, so 2 flags on the play. So as you can see, Dean, Wando with 775 pounds of PB&J, which you would think is pretty good.
But looking for Dorchester.
Yeah.
Friday Night Rivals season, we're launching the Synovus PB&J Blitz, benefiting the Low Country Food Bank. The local high school that donates the most jars of peanut butter and jelly wins. Synovus will give $100 to the winning school each week, $2,500 to the overall champion at the end of the season, with half going to the school and the other half to the Low Country Food Bank. So right now, Fort Dorchester pulling ahead of James Island only by about 2,600 pounds.
Yes. You know, I'm kind of a peanut butter snob. I just can't eat any type
Can you
of
eat just
butter.
one? No, you can't eat?
Well, it has to be a certain brand, and obviously I'm not going to say it because, well, they didn't pay for it, but yeah, I just, I'm just that way. And I eat a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Does it have to do with maybe a children's book?
Yeah,
a
there
movie?
you go. That would be one, a little creamy.
You like the creamy or the crunchy?
Nah, I got to go creamy for sure.
Hey, by the way, Quay Simmons, that junior who returned the kick, it was kind of scooting around the field, looked like his feet weren't moving, but he was blazing. The reason he looks a bit familiar, his brother Raekwon Simmons, who started at Fort Dorchester the last 3 seasons, is now playing at Wingate.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe you single-handedly got him a scholarship because you were like, this kid needs to play as the penalty flag.
That's my guy.
Yeah, is going to go against Fort Dorchester, so the somewhat positive yardage that he gained is going to be negated by the penalty. But yeah, he was a phenomenal player, and boy, when you look at the list of ex-Patriots that have played on this field that are now playing either on Saturdays or on Sundays, Steve LaPrade has done just a phenomenal job with this Fort Dorchester program.
1st and 10 from the 25. Penalty will back them up 15 yards. He's going to swing it out to the backfield, try to spread this field a little bit and use the speed, and that's exactly what they do right there as Saab hits Jenkins out of the backfield for a good 16 yards.
It's a safe pass there, a swing pass out of the backfield. Great blocking by the wide receiver and a tackle made by Jack Carson, also assisted by Nathan Lewis and Jalene Edwards.
That's what Jimmy Noonan was worried about.
Getting those guys in space.
Didn't want to spread the field. Saab going inside, getting plunked.
And there's Mr. Pellick, assisted by Ramsey Turnage. Pellick, again, the leader of this tough feisty defense of this Wando Warriors. As you mentioned, their opening game, they lost to Somerville and bounced back last week with a very strong performance against Stahl. This by far their biggest test, and they've held their own thus far, needless to say.
Saab back, looking left, going to move out of the pocket right. Tries to reverse field, doesn't go down. And a really nice play, stepping up is number 40, Nick Wilson.
Staying at home, Dean, did not follow the play, played his position. He had the backside. He stayed home, and that's why Wilson made the stop. And that's a situation for Saab there where don't forget who you are. You're an athlete. Take off and run. Don't try to force it. He had the whole right side wide open.
He moved well out of the pocket to the right, and when protection broke down, he just kind of lost his footing a bit. He's going to go back out to the air, stays left, pump fake. He's going to have enough for the first down and then some.
Big hit. Ramsey Turnage again, the 5'11" senior. Laying the wood there to Saab, and you can't, I understand he's wanting to throw the football, but it's not open. He did the right thing. I'm sure Steve LaPratt wants him to protect the football a little more and not kind of hold it with just one hand. But if it's open, take off and run and get those positive yards.
Sweep to the left side. Jenkins going to pick up about 8 before he's dragged down from behind. It's number 10, Jem Wilson with the tackle.
Justin Pellick there once again on the stop for the Warriors, and we talked about it. Now it's kind of sideline to sideline. The Fort trying to get into that open field, that open space to really make this Wando defense defend sideline to sideline.
Quick screen pass out to that's number 11, Antoine Parker, just off the marker a little bit by Saab. I think Saab's throwing the ball about a 50% completion rate right now. 24-45 for 387 and 3 touchdowns.
Again, last week just 2 of 5, Dean, but both of those completions he threw for 51 yards all came on that final possession where the Fort scored with 22 seconds left to get the win over Vera, a high school out of Florida.
3rd and 3 from the 35, go back to Jenkins. Jenkins moving and weaving his way around. He's going to make a couple more cuts, take it down to about the 16-yard line.
Nathan Lewis there to make the stop, as well as Ramsey Turnage. You have to be impressed with his patience. He didn't get ahead of his blockers. He kind of let his blockers lead him through. As you see, he kind of puts his hand on the back. Leading the way through the hole for Mr. Jenkins was Bruce Benjamin, a 6'2", 330-pound senior. Good job blocking.
1st and 10, the 16. Too much pressure. Going to be sacked for about a 6-yard loss.
Yeah, Tucker Rose, as well as Nathan Lewis there on the stop.
Jalen Edwards, number 78, going to give him a helmet tap. He's going to come out of the game. Jimmy Newman said he is the strongest kid to ever come through Wando that he has seen.
That's saying something, because there's been some strong ones that have come through that Wando program.
So a 7-yard loss, going to make it 2nd and 17 at the 24. 3 receivers, Quay Simmons in motion. They're going to go left off of the motion to the right. And a big stop inside by number 56. That's Tucker Rose.
He has come to play tonight.
Tucker Rose needed to come to play tonight.
This defense, I'm very impressed with this Wando Warrior defense thus far. I mean, when you look at the athletes, there's no question Fort Dorchester, from an athletic standpoint, a little more athletic than the Wando Warriors, but they have not allowed that to creep into their minds. They are going toe-to-toe with one of the best teams in the state of South Carolina.
Deep drop, look for the screen over the middle. Chaz is there.
Wow.
But so was big number 76, Austin Singleton, all 305 pounds of him. I think Chaz was surprised to see him kind of sitting right there in the middle of the screen.
He was there because he didn't rush, so he kind of stayed back and he kind of came to me, turned around, and hey, look what I found. Also with Willie Brown, the 6-foot senior on the stop for the Wando Warriors. So sometimes, Dean, it pays not to rush the quarterback. Let the little guy come to you.
All right, so they will try a field goal attempt. Stopped on a 4th and short back in the 4th quarter. This is going to be about a 38-yard field goal. The ball is up. He's got plenty of distance. So Fort Dorchester cracks the eggs up on the scoreboard, put a 3 spot up. The field goal from 38 yards is good. 3-0 game, 6:26 left in the 2nd quarter. You're watching Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruise Chevrolet. Welcome back to Fort Dorchester, everybody. A 3-0 game. Crunching the numbers brought to you by Anderson Brothers Bank. LaPrade on the 8, 2 different stories. First 8 years, a winning percentage of about 57%. This past 8 years,
75%. That's pretty good, Dean. 75 and 25. And you think about the players who played for him, from Carlos Dunlap, now with the Cincinnati Bengals, and Robert Quinn, and Byron Maxwell, and of course the Kerryon Joyner, who's at South Carolina, and John Simpson, who's up at Clemson. Whoa, a big return here by the Wando Warriors.
Dylan McCarthy going to take it down the left side, full speed ahead, doesn't let up. And what a great return down to the 49-yard line by the junior McCarthy.
Yeah, he took out a referee with him as well. McCarthy, as you said, got some steam going forward and was determined not to go down. Nice job of tiptoeing down the sideline, and a big return, and by far the best field position for the Wando Warriors tonight.
Said he stepped out of bounds at about the 46-yard line. With 6:15 on the clock. Fourth possession by Wando.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe McCarthy's father is on the coaching staff.
Was on the coaching staff. Will Harris going to take it to the outside. Not much there. Going to lose 3 yards. I think they've really found much better success between the tackles than they have on the outside.
Yeah, because you're just not going to outrun this Fort defense. Way too many athletes, too much quickness. So you're right. Helmet to helmet, lower those pads, and run straight at this Fort Dorchester defense.
Let's go downstairs with the third man on our team tonight, Chris Nessman. Chris?
Hey, that's right, Dean. I'm here with Dr. Johannes Meyer, an orthopedic surgeon. So tell me, doctor, you guys deal with sports medicine and help athletes all over the region. So one of the things you guys are doing is the black and blue clinics this fall. Tell me about that.
Yeah, the black and blue clinics are new to us. We have them every Friday and Saturday morning, and they're a walk-in clinic. So we'll see anywhere from your middle school athletes, your high school athletes, or your weekend warriors can all come in. If they have some type of urgent orthopedic need, they get immediate orthopedic care. So we have x-ray, we have splinting, we have durable medical equipment, as well as physical therapy, all available there. And I'll actually be there tomorrow morning, so if you injure yourself tonight, I'll be there.
There you go. You can even go see him. Now, one thing too, we actually just did a story on this, how injuries for high school athletes are increasing, like the chances, the percentages, etc. So what can parents and athletes, and even future parents do to prevent those injuries ahead of time?
Yeah, it's hard to prevent all injuries, but there are a lot of things that we can do to reduce the risk of injury. One of those things is making sure that you have proper training. So having a gradual supervised training program so that you can be prepared for your for your athletic event, but also making sure, especially the younger ones, having cross-training. So participating in more than one sport can help prevent injuries in the future. Next is making sure you're warmed up and stretched. As all the coaches say, you got to do that. So that's really important as well. Making sure you're hydrated, you've got good nutrition, you don't want to get cramping, you don't want to get fatigued. Then also you want to recover quicker. And then finally, just making sure you're ready to go. If you get fatigued during a game, you have to go ahead and just take a break. When you're fatigued, you're more likely to get injured, and we don't want that to happen.
Right. Cool. Dr. Johannes Meyer, thank you so much for coming. Helps a lot of kids out, Dean. So we're going to toss it back over to you, but we'll be back with more.
All right, Chris, thanks so much. Wando not backing down from that field goal. Put together a couple really nice plays. McCarthy on a pass, and then that pass right there to number 2 for the first down. And then Harris going to keep just bulldozing his way inside for +6 on that play. 8 yards earlier on that pass to Macon Glover.
And talk about that, the confidence. It's the mental thing, Dean, believing that you can win this game. You think about this drive by the Wando Warriors all the way inside the 10-yard line. If they can capitalize, knowing how well their defense is played and going into the locker room, this would be a huge momentum lift for this Wando offense.
Absolutely. I think Fort Dorchester wants a timeout right now, and they will take a timeout. You know, a couple of things about Dylan McCarthy. His father was on the staff, I believe played football at the Citadel.
Right, Sean?
Yep. His older brother, I'm going to say Brandon McCarthy. I could be totally wrong, though. Played for Wando last year as Zaxby's fans cam. Going to take a look at the Wando sideline. Maybe a bit questionable and hesitant coming into this game. They're starting to believe, though, a little bit more. Young guys, Buffalo Bill fans. Bills Mafia here.
That's the only one I've seen in all of Charleston, and only Buffalo Bills.
I'll introduce you to one. But Dylan, a lot of people don't know, is ranked the #1 pole vaulter in his age group. Not in the area.
Right.
Not in the state. In the country.
Wow. So he can, he's got hops with the little assist of a pole. So,
right.
But still.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
So I'm thinking, Dean, that means he's a potential Division I track and field.
I would think so.
If you're number 1 in the country.
I would think so. So he is split top of the screen. Jahem Wilson is tied on him. 2 running backs in the backfield with Garris. That's Harris and Singleton. Singleton to the left of him. Harris to the right. Garris going to give it to Singleton up the middle. Looks like he's going to be stopped a yard or 2 short of the first down. Singleton's got the longest yard or longest run of the year, 69 yards from scrimmage. It's the longest run since Kevin Brown turned it for the Warriors a couple of years ago. Brown now playing at Highland Community College, getting some looks right now in Nebraska, very interested in the former Warrior.
Dean, I would have to think this is 2-down territory for the Wando Warriors. 2 downs to get 3 yards, and I believe a Wando Warrior moved a little early.
And that's exactly what it's going to be. And go back to one of our keys of the game. Had to be mistake-free to be able to compete and a chance to win this football game. When you go from 3rd and 2 to 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, it's a big difference.
I think Christian Wilcox was just a little anxious to hit a defender for the Fort Dorchester defensive front.
Wando in the judgment-free red zone, brought to you by Planet Fitness. No judging up here.
When you look at him, Wando's going to take a timeout, a lot of confusion, and that's the smart play.
Yep.
Although you have to make sure everybody's on the same page. It's a crucial 8 yards coming up for Wando.
Well, you've got a 6-play drive brewing right now, and the 32-yard pass from Garris to McCarthy was the big one, and then the Macon Glover pass play picked up the first down, brought it down to the 20. So, yeah, you want to be able to get points out of this situation. Wando came into this game, and talking to Jimmy Noonan on the phone, he said it's a big mental game for us. We take a look at those scores the last 5 years. Embarrassed last year, 68-7 But as so many people brought up before this game, a lot of people lost big to Fort Dorchester through the years on Friday nights.
When you think about just football in the Low Country back in the days, it's been a very impressive drive. Before we talk about football in the Low Country, you see Wando with the big punt return and the pass to McCarthy down the sideline.
Yeah, it started with the kickoff return by McCarthy and then the pass play. And then Harris just steamrolling up the middle. Love the way that kid plays, by the way.
A great game being called by the offensive coaching staff, mixing up the pass with the run, really keeping this Fort Dorchester defense on its toes.
See what they've got here on 3rd and 8, going right back up the middle. Going to be planted at about the 8-yard line.
I believe Stephen Herring got to him first and assisted by about 4 or 5 of his buddies, and looks like the Wando Warriors.
I don't think it was a bad call. I think it was a safe play. Let's get some points out of this thing. Looks like it'll be a 28-yard field goal. Andrew Wild setting it up at about the 16-yard line, so we get a 26-yard field goal.
You want to snap this ball with 1 second left on the play clock. You want to take as much time off this clock as possible. Penalty flag.
Somebody, it's going to be offsides on Fort Dorchester.
Still not going to be enough, Dean, for a first down. It'll be 4th down and short, but I agree with your assessment. Maybe
are you a bit more tempted now?
Yeah, no, because you've had this job. You can't come away empty-handed.
Yes,
and I think we saw last night the Falcons on their opening drive. They drive down, they come away empty-handed. It kind of, I think, set the tone for the rest of the night.
Noonan with the hold, the kick by Wild is good.
Big leg.
Andrew Wild, a senior, has been just a cornerstone of this kicking program for the last couple of years. Of course, Wando's former kicker now at South Carolina, starting his sophomore year. Parker.
Yeah, Parker White. Big game for him tomorrow and his teammates. You think about that game tomorrow, you got, let's see, got Otrey Smith from Wando up in Columbia. You got the Kerryon Joyner, quarterback in Columbia. Got Parker White. I believe also, not Bailey Hart. Christian Hart? Bailey Hart.
Bailey Hart.
There's so many of those Harts.
Bailey Hart.
I get confused.
Bailey was moved from quarterback to wide receiver and actually
had a catch last week.
Had a catch last week.
So that pipeline up
to. Did you get Javon Kinlaw there, by the way?
Yeah, well, he played at Goose Creek.
Oh, you're talking about here.
I was just talking about Fort Dorchester and Wando Warriors playing up at Billy Bryce tomorrow.
After this game, why don't you turn it over to ABC News 4, Friday Night Rivals on ABC News 4. Complete coverage, scores, and highlights from all of the games around the Low Country every Friday night on ABC News 4 at 11. Brought to you by Cruz Chevrolet. Darren Stoltz with Scotty Eisberg has it all covered for you tonight. So Wando tying up the score, 3-3 at 2.5, about a 3.5-minute drive. And there goes Wild, going to kick it deep into the end zone.
Dang. Tell you what, Dean, if Wild continues to put them in the end zone like that, he'll be playing on Saturdays as well.
Yeah, but
somewhere.
What it does more than that, Everett, is as dangerous as the return teams here have been, and I assume they are now, it starts them at the 20-yard line instead of maybe the 40 or the 50.
And allow the team, the offensive unit, to kind of get their momentum going as well. So you're right, Dean. Anytime you can kind of get your defense set, and at this point with Jimmy Noonan, you just want your defense to hold on for the last 2:32.
2:32. Sapp's going to try to take it outside. Who's there? Who is that, Everett?
That would be the man, Mr. Pellick, Justin Pellick, the 6-foot senior linebacker. Once again with a nice open field solo tackle. And to bring down Saab by yourself, did a good job of shedding that block. Jenkins not able to get in front of him, and a good start defensively for this Wando Warriors. And let's see if Steve LaPrade and the Fort offense, if they elect to try to run this clock out or try to put some points on the board in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, a late substitution for Wando. It's number 76, Jordan Richards, a sophomore, 6'3", 295 coming out. He'll be replaced by William Tague, senior. And I've seen a lot of substitutions here for Wando, trying to preserve a little bit of their energy. Saab goes back and gets pushed out. Pellick's going to miss it. Number 42 will not.
Mr. Fetchin. He's been an active.
We've called his name a few times today, haven't we?
I was about to say, we've said his name once or 8 times tonight. He's done a nice job and great pursuit, but a nice run here by Saab. Didn't have anything. He simply took off and able to get as many yards as he possibly could, and actually results in a first down for the Fort.
16-yard pickup. Fetchin goes up top to bring him down. 3 receivers out. Saab looks left, going to scramble up the middle. He's got a seam. Going to get past Fetchin, and he does. Got another 18-yard pickup on that play down to the Wando 44.
Yeah, Pickren there to make the stop, as well as Pellick again. And now you're starting to see this Fort Dorchester offense starting to get going. Can this Wando defense hold on for the last 125? But you can see they're starting to get a little fatigued. And all of a sudden, Saab is starting to pick up his steam and having a little bit of ease finding those openings.
You see the athletic ability. Saab's going to scramble again, but the pocket's going to close down. I tell you what, there was a pancake block by big number 75 as Jordan Richards, just a sophomore.
Man, Austin Singleton, 6 foot, 305-pound senior, just getting it done on the defensive line.
Now, the story and the guy that was pancaked, number 56, Tucker Rose, Wando defensive end, put out a tweet this week. And I still don't know why don't send out a tweet. However,
as Herm Edwards says,
don't
hit send.
I think we've got the tweet coming up, but it was basically Tucker said, or the account labeled by Tucker Rose was basically, there's a rumor going around that we're going to shut down Fort D's run game. That's not true. We're shutting down the entire offense.
Yes, and that no one's giving them a chance to win, but they're going to beat Fort Dorchester. And right now, man, Tucker Rose, him and his teammates, they're backing up his talk.
His tweet. Got to walk the walk and tweet the tweet. They start second down and 10, about the 44. Saab back in the pocket, going to step up. Throws off the mark as he was hit just as he was releasing the ball. He was taking a look at number 12, Quay Simmons.
And that pressure by the front 4 of the Wando Warriors, not allowing Saab to kind of really get comfortable back there. He's got those happy feet. And right now it looks like he's checking his first option, his second option, and then Dean, he's just taking off. That might be his best chance here over the last 101.
We got a couple of new linemen in. They're going to a 4-down set where they usually start with a 3-4 option play. Saab kicking it out to Jenkins. He's getting close to the first down. Will go by it by about a yard or so. But that's kind of what Jimmy Noonan was talking about, just bringing in some fresh legs. Depth has been a concern for this team and for this program this year. They've lost a lot of kids. There's no JV program, and he said a lot of times we've got to have that 2A, 3A mentality where you've got a lot of kids playing both sides of the ball, which should not happen at a 5A school and the state's biggest high school. First and 10 from the 34. Oh, 4th and 1.
Yeah.
They didn't give it to him. What a heck of a play call right there.
Great catch by Antoine Parker to go up high and bring this one down. A little bit of a gutsy call considering that Saab had been kind of struggling throwing the football, and on 4th and 1 to make that play, that's a big-time play for the Patriots.
I think a timeout is going to be called on the other side of the ball. It was Antoine Parker on the receiving end. I'm stunned they did not give him that first down because from here it looked like he had crossed where he needed to go, the 22-yard line, or about the 24-yard line.
And Dean, you touched on it earlier in the broadcast about the height of these Fort Dorchester wide receivers. You think of Chaz Jones, who's 6'1", Wilson, he's 6'3", Parker 6'3" as well. This is the area where you would have that jump ball mentality where you just kind of throw it down into the end zone. You throw it at its highest point and allow your wide receivers to simply go get the football. So let's see if Steve LaPrade and the offensive unit, I believe the offensive coordinator, Ian Rafferty, a young man that played in NC State, also played in the NFL for some time.
Yep, went to high school at Somerville.
So it'll be interesting to see what he calls up here over the last 26 seconds of the first half. A very entertaining first half. A well-played football game between Wando and Fort Dorchester.
So 25 seconds left on the clock. Looking at a 1st and 10 from the 22, a 3-3 game. Fort Dorchester will stay in their shotgun formation with Jenkins behind Sabb, 3 wide receivers. He's going to look left, little pump fake, good and go. And a really nice play by number 10, Matt Gresham, little 5'9" DB wide receiver. So Will Pickering back there.
And that's the jump ball that I talked about. Simple, just throw it up and allow your guy. But throwing into triple coverage is never a good idea. He almost came down with it, but great coverage by the Wando defense.
Yeah, it looked like, as that play developed, looked like he was going to be able to get up and get it.
And apparently a penalty flag, Dean. I didn't see it, but they're saying it was holding on Fort Dorchester. So that will back the Patriots up to the 33-yard line.
So we 2nd and 10 now from the 32 with just 21 seconds left. Sabb's going to get out of the pocket and run. Pelix is going to miss him. But coming from the backside, that is big number 78 making the play, Jalen Edwards. And then number 26, Jack Carson, picking up the loose ball, and Wando with possession with 9 seconds left.
Actually, Dean, that was Will Pickering that came up with the fumble recovery. And great pursuit down the field by the Wando Warriors. They did not give up on the play. They forced the fumble. Will Pickering there to pick it up. And the Wando Warriors, I'm sure, will take any. Who was that, Dean, that ran down the field and chased? Let's see.
That's Jalen Edwards. There he is, coming from the backside. Right hand, gets in, strips him away. Pickering, you're right, picks it up. He gets popped by Chaz Jones. Pickering, the backup quarterback, seeing limited time. Wando now just in formation to play it safe, get the last 9 seconds off the clock. We go 3-3. We'll go 3-3 into the half.
I don't think a lot of people expected this, Dean, but give credit to those Wando Warriors. They're able to really silence the Fort Dorchester offense. Defensive Wando strong in the first half. Offensively made enough plays, and you have to think Fort Dorchester, they'll make adjustments. Let's see what happens in the second half.
Well, Steve LaPrade is going to be joining our own Chris Nessman here in a moment. He's got him right now. Let's go downstairs. Chris?
Hey, that's right. All right, so, Coach, low-scoring first half, kind of a tough way to end. So what are you going to tell your players when you get in that locker room?
We didn't play at all the first half, so they ought to be extremely well rested. So hopefully we'll play the second half.
And what do you hope to see from your players? I mean, there's a lot of ground, a lot of things to do.
I hope they remember how to play football because they haven't played any so far.
Ooh. All right, and then so I guess come towards the latter half, how do you hope to keep their energy up and stuff?
Well, like I said, they ought to have a bunch. We just haven't done very well and haven't executed it all. So, Wando's playing as good as they can. We're playing as bad as we can. So it's 3-3. So if we don't play better, they'll probably win. And they deserve to because right now we don't deserve to win.
All right.
Thank you.
You go talk to those kids. Hey, Dean, so you just heard that right. So he is going to go. The hope is that they can get that energy up, and I'll be curious to see what goes on in that locker room. We'd love to be a fly on the wall, but we'll turn it back over to you.
All right, Chris, thanks so much. 3-3 game. You're watching Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet.
I think he hit that.
Welcome to the Zaxby's Halftime Show. Let Zaxby's cater your next tailgate with your favorites like the chicken fingers, platter, or salad bar. Visit Zaxby's.com for a full menu and to find a location near you. Each week, Zaxby's gives you a chance to win some free food. Just text chicken. Text chicken to 44332 for your chance to win $100 worth of delicious Zaxby's. Each week, David Ayler's law office is proud to highlight a scholar athlete from each participating school. The students selected will have an opportunity to win a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Tonight, scholar athletes Justin Pellick at Wando, a GPA of 5.0. Also runs a little cross country. He works with the Wando Youth Football Camps, counselors, and lawn care for the Dorothy Day House. And it's Caleb Morgan over at Fort Dorchester with a 5.123 GPA.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. I'm here with Margaret Seiba of the David Ayler Law Offices. Margaret, thank you for talking to us.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. So we're talking about Scholar Athlete today, so give me some background on that.
So once a week, we honor 2 students who excel both on the field and in the classroom. Okay. And at the end of the season, we choose one of those 20 students, and we provide them with a $5,000 scholarship, which they can use towards their future college.
$5,000, that's awesome. And this is year number 2 of this, right? Mm-hmm. So why go for a second year in a row?
It was so great to see the money go towards such a great cause. After last year, we had our winner, Leo Albano, use that money to towards his scholarship at Notre Dame. Okay. And he starts this fall, so we're wishing him the best of luck. And we just love to give back to the community whenever we have the chance.
Okay, great. Leo from Bishop England High School, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a huge takeaway from that first year that you had last year. What are some other big kind of takeaways from that year?
It's just great to see the benefits of high school sports. It teaches students about leadership and time management and all lessons that you can use throughout life. Mm-hmm. So it's very important.
It is. That is awesome. Margaret Steipa of the David Ayler Law Offices. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Guys, we'll go ahead and send it back to you.
All right, Brody, thanks so much. We're rejoining the Zaxby's Halftime Show. Let Zaxby's cater your next tailgate with your favorites, like the chicken fingers platter or the salad bar. Visit Zaxby's.com for a full menu and to find a location near you. Tonight's trophy provided by RKO Total Graphics in downtown Charleston. Those trophies and plaques provided by RKO, part of the Friday Night Rivals team. We appreciate your involvement. Welcome back to the Zaxby's Halftime Show. Let Zaxby's cater your next tailgate with your favorites like the chicken fingers platter or salad bar. Visit Zaxby's.com for a full menu and to find a location near you. It is a 3-3 game at halftime here at Fort Dorchester. They are 3-0 on the year. Wando's 1-1. What both of these teams are going to want after this game is a big plate of Zaxby's. Let's throw it down to Chris Nessman. Chris?
Hey, that's right, Dean. I'm here with Rachel Daly from Zaxby's. So tell me, you guys have a lot of new sandwiches. What do you have at Zaxby's now?
Sure. I'll tell you a little bit about Zaxby's first. So our mission at Zaxby's is to enrich lives, and we do that in a number of ways. We have great food. We have great teams. We provide excellent hospitality at our stores, and we really just try to make the environment fun for families to come and visit. A little bit more about Zaxby's. So we started in 1990. That's when we opened our first stores. In Charleston, we've been in the area since 2002. So we have 12 locations here, all locally owned and operated. And our concept is really simple. We have fresh hand-breaded chicken, fresh salads, delicious wings, and then if you're still hungry, we also have fresh baked cookies and fresh baked brownies. And our new sandwiches, I'd love to tell you a little bit about those. So we have two new hand-breaded filet sandwiches. The first one is the Southern TLC. So TLC stands for tomato, lettuce, and chicken. So good.
So good.
So it's the hand-breaded filet on a toasted potato bun with the tomatoes, Roma tomatoes, shredded lettuce, shredded iceberg lettuce, and then chicken with mayonnaise. And our second sandwich is called the Southern Sweet and Smoky, and that one's my favorite. It's still the classic hand-breaded filet on a toasted potato bun, but instead of the mayonnaise, we have a sweet and creamy sauce, and then we have a zesty pickle. It's a mix between a dill and a bread and butter pickle. So these sandwiches, and just to let you know that on September 13th, we are giving free the chicken filet sandwiches to the first 100 guests at all the Zaxby's in the area. So if you show proof of promotion, just look for it on social media and come in and get your free sandwich.
Oh, wait, what day was that again? I got to be there.
It's September 13th.
September 13th. Okay, so now tell me, one other thing you guys have going on at Zaxby's, at least here, the fifth quarter, what do you call it, fifth quarter festivities?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Sure. So first and foremost, we really want to thank the Charleston community. And tonight we're doing that by hosting what we call a fifth quarter party. So come on over to Zaxby's after the game. It's on Dorchester Road. And we'll have a wheel of flavor. So you can spin the wheel to win free prizes. And one lucky winner is going to win free Zaxby's for an entire year. And then, the best part about this is that 20% of all the proceeds are going to go to the Coastal Crisis Chaplaincy, and I'll let Rich tell you a little bit more about that.
Okay, yeah, and you can see we got Rich from the Coastal Crisis Chaplaincy. So tell me, Rich, what is the Coastal Crisis Chaplaincy?
Basically, we're a diverse team of first responder chaplains, and we provide crisis community care. So there's a homicide, if there's a suicide, any kind of traumatic loss in the community, the first responders call us right on the radio, and we get dispatched out to the scene. And basically, we provide first responder support, in a sense, to the heart. Everyone else tries to serve the injured body, we serve the injured heart.
So, and just in those instances, what do you try to do? Like, how, when people see you, what can they expect?
One of the basic things is really becoming what people need. Some people need a hug, some people need a heart, an ear, a listening, and sometimes a prayer. Whatever it is that they need is what we bring to them. And then we also have survivor care, so our team will follow up after traumatic death and check in on folks, make sure that there's some kind of continuum of care for the grief process.
Very good. And you guys are working with Zaxby's.
Yeah, well, they're really good at feeding bellies, and they're helping us feed hearts. Let's put it that way. They've been tremendous community partners in providing meals for first responders, and then now with the fifth quarter, raising money for the chaplaincy so that we can be out there providing the care that we provide.
All right. Hey, thank you so much, guys. We're going to toss it back over to you, but just remember, fifth quarter food.
Hey, Chris, I'm going to tell you this right now, and I don't even have to ask Everett, but we are both hungry now.
Exactly.
I mean, that Zaxby's segment just crushed us.
You know the best thing about, well, not the best thing, but one of the great things about Zaxby's?
What you got?
Yeah, crushed ice.
You know one of the best parts about Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruise Chevrolet halftime show? We got highlights from around the country. Let's get to it.
Thursday and Friday nights.
Middleton and Northern York. One-handed grab.
Odell who? One hand. Look at the concentration.
That's more like the circus catch, the juggling ball. Anytime a fumble on a punt, it's going to mess up the return team, except for this time.
Oh, it's a hot potato. Get on it, and they do recover for a touchdown.
Shady side playing a little soccer with the football. Badgers and Wolverines. Is this Wisconsin and Michigan?
I was about to say.
Oh, boy, we got to pick at the 10. We got green jerseys. We got green grass.
He's taking it to the house.
This can't be the play. There's got to be something else. Give me a cheerleader tackle.
Off the sidelines.
Very good.
Not the fullback trap. Just up the middle like a bowling ball. All the way 15-10. What a block, Dino.
Inside the pads. Oh, by the way, that's coming out of Nashville, Music City. Clark and Churchill.
From San Antonio.
22 seconds left. Churchill's a great school up that way. That's a game winner.
Can't go wrong there. Churchill.
You know who played at San Antonio Cole basketball?
Kawhi Leonard.
Shaq.
There you go. That's right. The Diesel.
Thursday Night Lights, Friday Night Rivals, great moments from around the country from our broadcasting partners. That's pretty awesome. All right. Fans, we're giving you an opportunity to vote for tonight's Spirit Award. Take a look.
We can't be stopped. Patriots on top. We can't be stopped. Patriots on top. We can't be stopped. Unstoppable, unbeatable, a step above the rest. We are the Patriots, and you know we are the best. Up, down, 1, 2. Let's go! Let's hear it for the best. WHS.
So to vote for Dorchester, text cheer A to 44332. For Wando, cheer B 44332. That is cheer B. Cast a vote for the Spirit Award. Results later tonight at the show tonight. As for other games going around town, anything surprise you here?
Yeah, that Goose Creek West Ashley scored 21-0. West Ashley started up season off 2-0. A bad game last week against Berkeley and getting shut out now at home against Goose Creek. That probably one jumps out to me the most. And looks like either James Allen or Stahl will pick up their first victory of the season. And Somerville just continuing to do what they do all over Stratford right now. In the first half, 35-14.
All right. As for us, both teams coming out on the field, starting their warm-up prep with about a minute left on the clock. So let's toss it to break. It is a 3-3 game here at Fort Dorchester. Wando and the Patriots. Let's go down, before we go to break, let's go down to the field. Our Chris Nessman, who was just treated like a Nick Saban interview, going to be joined by a better
just quit asking,
feeling
Dean.
Jimmy Noonan. Chris?
Hey, that's right, Dean. All right, we got coach of the Wando Warriors here. So tell me, you're holding one of the best offenses at 3-3 the first half. What'd you tell your boys in the locker room?
Well, heck, I told them to remember all that hard work that they've been put in the summer and preseason. And, they're very capable themselves. They put their britches on just like these guys do. And this team right here is a very good football team. We know they're going to make a charge here in the second half. And we got to keep doing what we've been doing.
All right. Hey, and what do you hope to do about the end of the second quarter, or the second half, excuse me?
Well, heck, we got to finish. They don't award anything for one half of football. We got 24 more minutes, and anything can happen there. We got to keep doing what we're doing. Protect the football offensively, ground control, and run that clock and be there in the fourth quarter.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Good luck. All right, Dean, we're going to toss back over to you, but they're going to work very hard.
Hey, are you feeling a little bit better after that interview with Coach LaPrade? You doing all right down there, Chris?
Incredibly hungry, and I already had dinner. So
yeah, so you've already gotten over the LaPrade slapdown. It also reminded me, Everett, a little bit of the Spurs head coach too. When
Popovich.
Greg Popovich.
He just does not like doing those interviews.
All right, so it's a 3-3 game. Now we'll toss it to break. You're watching Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. All right, welcome back, everybody. It's a 3-3 game. Wando's Tucker Rose and his whole team backing up his tweet from earlier this week. And they have shut down the Fort Dorchester defense, giving up just a field goal on this night. Steve LaPrade, I imagine it was a sermon at halftime that we have not heard in quite a long time.
We call those adjectives that I'm sure Coach LaPrade was encouraging his team at the half.
I'm going to tell you, I think it's a lot of what Wando did, more of what Wando did, and not so much what Fort Dorchester did. They controlled the line of scrimmage offensively. They ran the ball extremely well between the tackles, and the only real big mistake they made, a couple of small penalties here and there.
And the block punt.
And the block punt.
But you think, and you almost have to wonder if Fort Dorchester just assumed they could just walk in here, and because of the success that they've had over Wando over the last 5 years and didn't necessarily take the Warriors serious, but Wando came to play tonight. Let's see, but the football game, it's 4 quarters, not 2. Let's see what happens here in the second half.
Your aim high kickoff brought to you by the United States Air Force, and that is something Steve LaPrade has going for him. They do get to receive the kickoff here to start the third quarter.
Let's see if Andrew Wild can kick it out of the back of the end zone.
And this will not be a returnable kick. Kicks it about 8 yards deep for Andrew Wild.
So the first drive, always so important for both units to set the tone. Can this Wando defense continue to shut down this Fort Dorchester offense? Can Fort Dorchester finally get it going and come up with a nice, long, sustained drive? Let's see. The first drive will send a message as to how this game could potentially finish out.
Jimmy Noonan told me earlier this week, he said we played 3 good quarters against Somerville, and we just wore down. Let's see what happens tonight. Man in motion, little jet sweep. There's going to be a holding call on the play. Number 56 was right there, Tucker Rose, to kind of slow the pursuit down. It was a kind of an arm up against, up around the shoulder pad area. Let's see if they call that a hold or if they call that a face mask.
Dwayne Kermel with the carry for the Patriots, and once again, you gotta love that from that Wando defense. 4 and 5 guys around the football every single time. Wando doing a nice job of gang tackling and not allowing just one Warrior to try to bring down these elusive Fort Dorchester Patriots.
I was mistaken, not a flag on the play. It's going to be a pickup of 4 yards. Sabb looking back, going to run it up the middle. He's got some green grass up the middle and to the right side. Number 42, Jacob Fitch on the tackle, not before he picks up the first down, plus about an extra 10 on the play.
Nice job by Fetchin stepping up. We've called his name several times tonight, Dean Stevens. These linebackers of Wando definitely not lacking confidence. They are playing an outstanding football game tonight. Really, this entire front 7 of Wando has been exceptional thus far.
Handoff up the middle to Jenkins. He's going to cut it to the outside. He's got a block to the outside. He'll follow his block Parker and be pushed out of the bounds at the 45-yard line.
And all of a sudden, now you're starting to see this Fort Dorchester. It was a flag at the end of the play, and I'm going to guess maybe a late hit. He was pretty far out of bounds, I think. So we take a look at the replay here. A nice run by Jenkins, and he's already in the white. Yeah, potentially a late hit against, I believe that was Pickering.
And number 4 picked up
but actually,
that fumble to end the quarter.
It's against Fort Dorchester. They're marching the Patriots back. Did you see the call, Dean? I
never saw a call. Press box P announcer saying it was a holding call.
It is. So it would have been a first down run negated by the penalty, and the Patriots have definitely helped Wando tonight with some very costly penalties here in the first half, and starting the second half off how they ended the first, going backwards.
It'll pick up at the 42-yard line after they come back with the minus, or set it back 15 yards. There's a run up the middle.
At the bottom of the pile. That's my guy.
There's number 23, Dwayne Wright, coming in, getting his first carry of the game.
Austin Singleton once again being in the right place at the right time. Doing a nice job of clogging up the middle.
3 yards on a play. 2nd and 5, good to right back up the middle. And this time he's going to go to the outside. He's going to have room to run. Pulled down out of bounds around the 40-yard line. So Wright comes in for Jenkins and puts together a really nice run to pick up the first down.
We'll see a much bigger back, 6 foot, 212-pound sophomore, while Jenkins just 5'7", 192. So last week, Wright did not carry the football at all. And on this drive, he's doing a nice job of driving the ball down the field for the Patriots.
Let's get this play here. We go back to Wright. Nope, Sabb's going to keep it. And he's going to split the defense. Pickering puts a hit on him, brings him down at the 30-yard line. We'll check in with our man down to the sidelines, Chris Desmond, right now. Chris?
Hey, thanks, Dean. Yeah, right now I am here with first-class Airman Faligi from the respectable U.S. Air Force. So tell me, Faligi, the Air Force, protect our freedoms, allow us to even play games like football. Why do you guys sponsor football? Why is it such an important thing for you guys?
So football is a great part about the communities that everybody lives in. The Air Force is all about volunteerism and supporting your local community, because everybody who goes to these high schools and every young person growing up, they're the future of the Air Force, and we want to give them as much as possible so they might think about joining, because it's important for us that they join, or else there won't be an Air Force.
Yeah, now tell me, if kids were to consider to join, again, very respectable, a lot of opportunity. What are some of those available?
You got the GI Bill. You got tons of other things. You don't even have to use the GI Bill to get your college degree in the Air Force. They'll pay for it while you're in the Air Force without using your GI Bill, so you can have it outside. If you do a 6-year contract, you can have your full bachelor's degree after 4 to 5 years. And then you can go into OTS and, make officer pay or become a pilot.
Which I'll tell you, when you consider the cost of college, that sounds really good rather than $50,000 in student loan debt. So, hey, thank you very much for coming out here. We'll be hanging out all day. Dean, we'll turn it back over to you and football.
All right, thanks so much, Chris. Justin Pellick, the man we told you to keep an eye on at the very start of this game, had a ball flutter in and out of his hands.
Yeah, Saab very fortunate here. That should have easily been an interception as he overthrew his intended receiver, Khalil Jenkins, which, when you're 5'7", a little easy to do there. But the Patriots catch a break, and we'll have another opportunity here on this 2nd down play.
Holding penalty set him back, make it 2nd and 20 now from the 40. Saab's going to lower his shoulder. You see the physical nature of Saab right there, running over R.E. Leisure, number 56, to pick up 10 yards and make it 3rd and 10.
Right now, the Fort offense, it really consists of just stepping back, taking 2 or 3 steps, and then having Saab take off. So a big 3rd down and 10 play coming up, and then we're going to have a stoppage of play. I believe a timeout is the call, Dean.
I think Wando, they had a late substitution coming in. I think Jalen Edwards was trying to come in, and I believe that a penalty, or they called a timeout to get out of the penalty situation. All right, it's a 3-3 game, 9:28 left here in the 3rd quarter. We're going to set it to break. When we come back, see if Fort Dorchester can convert a 3rd and 11 from their 30. You're watching Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. All right, welcome back to Fort Dorchester, Zaxby's fans, Cams. It is Greek night, totally Greek. Great student section by Fort Dorchester. As for the game on the field, it is 3rd and 11 from the 31 after a critical holding penalty by Fort Dorchester. Sab up the middle to Jenkins, going to cut it to the outside. Pelix slows him down. He will not get the first down. Crushed to the outside there by number 42. That was
Fetchin.
Jake Fetchin. We have been calling his name all night.
He's been fetching them to come up with a big play as once again he's there to knock Jenkins out of bounds. Also with the assist for the Wando Warriors was Nathan Lewis, the 6'1 senior. Dean, as you mentioned, they came up short, but looks like the Fort, they're going to go for it on 4th down and 4.
But the 3rd time they've gone for it on 4th down in this game. Save back, going to throw it across, and what a nice play by the Wando defense.
And the stop.
That is number 16 by Ramsey Turnage. And I think the question here is, the reception was good, but as he turned to kind of wheel around to pick up more yardage, and that's when he lost his yard.
Well, in that situation, you got to drive that defender back. You have to get past the sticks. So if they do make the play, at least you have enough yardage for a first down. So if it's 4 or 5, you can't run a 3-yard route, and that's what he did.
So Wando with the ball, Singleton to the outside. He's going to cut it to the outside again, and he's got the corner and the speed out to the 42-yard line.
Antoine Nelson there to, actually, I'm sorry, not Antoine Wilson, Khalid Gatson for Fort Dorchester there on the stop. And unfortunately for Wando, Jaden Singleton comes up limping, but a nice, strong, positive run. And slowly but surely, Dean, you see Wando starting to get more and more confidence on the offensive side.
My goodness, a 15-yard pickup by Singleton.
That did not look good, his knee at the end of that play. Being attended to, Mark Bookman, the head trainer for the Wando Warriors.
Again, most of their positive yardage on the first half on the ground came between the tackles. Singleton able to bust it outside not once, but twice. With that being said, Harris going to be dragged down from the backside by big number 44, Caleb Morgan. A couple of guys we've not called the name of. Devon Gilmore, number 33. He is the middle linebacker and the guy that has basically led this defense. Devon Gilmore, 6'2", 222, 43 tackles on the year. Going to be 2nd 11 for Wando.
Caleb Morgan was our David Ayler player of the, or scholar athlete of the week. Making that previous play, there's a stoppage in play.
Number 91, Manny Johnson, Emmanuel Johnson. Got to see him a little bit this summer.
And again, another unforced error, Dean, by the Fort Dorchester Patriots. Going to give the Wando Warriors an easy 5 yards, and just very uncharacteristic of Fort Dorchester. Mentally, just they don't seem to be there tonight. And give credit to Wando. They're taking advantage of the Fort's inability to really kind of lock in mentally.
Keeping an eye on 91 defensive end Manny Johnson. His mother, Katrina McLean, one of the greatest basketball players to ever play for the U.S. Harris goes inside. He's going to bull his way for a couple more yards. Johnson transferred over from Northwoods Academy, and Steve LaPrade said his physical gifts are off the chart. Once he figures out how this game is played, he will be a monster.
I had the fortune of coaching him in basketball when he's a 7th grader, and I used to call him JUCO, because in 7th grader he looked like a junior college player.
Unbelievable.
He's always been, and like you said, Katrina McLean, who starred at St. Andrews and then went on to play at Georgia, and a 4-time USA Olympian.
Yep, 32 for Wando. They've got a bunch package in. They're going to flip it to the outside, and that is going to be number 31, Eddie Gabinski, the 5'11", 230-pounder. Looked like he was going to go up the middle, and they sealed off that left end for a first down.
Yeah, the Fort had a chance to make the play and stop him before making the first down, but their failure to wrap up here, as you see, he just kind of ran through that tackle, picked up some additional yards, and that's why Daquan Robinson finally able to get him on the ground, but not before a first down for the Warriors.
Great play calling tonight by Wando, without question. And the important things, you get 4 sets of downs, fresh downs, keep your defense on the field or off the field.
And more importantly, that clock moving. You're shortening the game every single time you pick up a first down.
Garris hands it back to Harris.
There's Gilmore.
Picks up another 4 yards on the play.
Also Jaden Gardner on the stop. You're right, Dean. We really have not called Davon Gilmore's name. It's just the second or third time tonight. Last week, coming off a 15-tackle performance in the win over Vera, been very silent tonight.
2nd and 7 from the 43. 6:30 left on the clock here in the third quarter. Garrett's going to step back. Pocket collapses. And number 90 jumping in there. A heck of a play by Daquan Robinson coming around the edge. And a flag is down. Came from the back judge. And that is usually a hold.
Wando was trying to catch maybe Fort Dorchester sleeping with a little play action. Tried to freeze those linebackers, but give credit to the Fort. They did not fall for it. Holding, I think, is going to be right there in the middle of the field, and that's going to back the Warriors up. Not too many penalties for Wando tonight, Dean. They really played a clean game. Meanwhile, the Fort has definitely had their fair share of penalty infractions tonight.
Yeah, not a clean game by Steve LaPrat's crew.
But even when you look at the sideline, there's no energy, no emotion. Steve LaPrat, it just seems to be, and actually no, it's going to go against Fort Dorchester.
Maybe they decline the penalty, so they're going to keep it. They'll keep it 3rd and 7 from the 43-yard lines, and that surprises me.
You have to figure Wando has had most of their success tonight really on the ground. Not really much done through the air, so they're probably thinking, hey, we can just make a play.
It's like an option run. Garris has got nowhere to go. Smart play just to eat it and to turtle it and just take the loss and punt the ball.
Daquan Robinson again, they're on the stop for the Patriots. And as you mentioned, Dean, really no loss there. Yeah, you didn't pick up a first down, but you're punting in Fort Dorchester territory. Hopefully you can pin them back and then rely on your defense, who's played so well tonight.
Keith DeSuer is back. He is number 5. He is wearing DeCarrion Joyner's jersey number, and nobody really wanted to wear it. And LaPrat said, "You're the guy." He's got the best feet on the team. I don't know if that means he's got pretty feet, good toes. But he got
light on his feet.
The sophomore, 5'9", 165, has the honor of wearing Joyner's number tonight.
And if you have asked Jimmy Noonan at all this week, leading up to tonight's game, hey, with 5:50 left in the third quarter, the score's 3-3, would you take that? I am very positive to speak for Jimmy and say absolutely, and that's where his team is right now. Based on an outstanding defensive performance by Wando.
1st and 10 for the 15. Jenkins going to be inside, but that Wando defense just collapsing down on the edges and no room to run through the gaps.
Raymond Rivera.
Let's go down to the sidelines with Chris Nessman. We have our David Adler Law Office's Educator Spotlight.
Hey, thanks, Dean. I'm here with the Associate Principal from Wando, Principal, excuse me, say your name again for me.
Jeff Blankenship.
Blankenship. Wasn't sure if I was saying it right. So, Mr. Blankenship, sir, tell me, Wando High School, you guys have a lot going on right now. What are some of the big things you guys have happening?
Well, with athletics, we're very excited about our brand new stadium on campus. We had our first home game last Friday night, opened up with a win over Stall. Our volleyball team is doing great. Coach Glover just got her 1,000th win, Hall of Fame coach there. So athletics has kicked off well. Band has a competition coming up very soon. They're going to do well as usual. Just excited to start the school year with so many activities for our students.
Fantastic. Now tell me too, not only athletics but academics. You told me a really cool stat about the number of AP students. You want to share that?
Yes, sir. We have more students taking AP courses than anyone in the Tri-County area, and we also have the highest AP score passage rate in the Tri-County area. So we're very proud of our students in our AP Academy. They're graduating from Wando with honors.
Very cool, and I'm also sure you're proud of your football team. They're holding their own tonight.
Yeah, Coach Smith, his defense is doing great. Good turnover on our side of the field right before the half. Got a turnover on downs just now. Coach Noonan's strategy on offense, grind it out, give our defense a chance to rest. We're doing great so far. Couldn't be happier.
All right, Associate Principal Blankenship. Thank you very much. All right, Dean, I'm going to toss it back over to you.
Jenkins to the outside and finds a crease down the sidelines. They will call him out of bounds at the 50-yard line.
That's the one thing Wando really has done tonight is not given up the big play, but man, Jenkins just one small step away from taking that all the way to the house. A big run by Mr. Jenkins.
Contained into the outside, and then the defensive end and Pelek kind of loses his footing.
And that's a touchdown saving push out of bounds right there by the Wando Warriors. Looked like that was Jack Carson.
It was indeed. Going to start 1st and 10 now at the 50-yard line, 4:22 on the clock.
Well, we have a second. Congratulations to Alexis Glover, the volleyball coach at Wando. You just heard Mr. Blankenship say 1,000 wins as a volleyball coach. That is the greatest of all time for sure.
Sapp's going to tuck it. He's going to run. He's got a crease right up the middle. He's going to put his head down, rolls over Pickering, and another defensive back along the way. That is number 40, Nick Wilson, getting in the way. But you see the athleticism and just how much Sapp likes the contact when he runs the ball. Pickup of 18.
He's not trying to run around you. He's trying to run through you. A very physical, punishing quarterback Sapp is, and that's what he did on that last play.
Looks like it was a false start by Fort Dorchester.
And when you also think about it, Dean, and you're right, false start against Fort D. The tempo, Wando has done a great job of not allowing Fort Dorchester to kind of get into rhythm where they could kind of run that hurry-up offense and wear down that Wando Warrior defense because of the fact that the depth is not where it probably should be. So a good job. Everything Wando has wanted to do, they've done thus far, and let's see if they can hold on for the rest of this quarter.
One thing I'm surprised we've not seen Fort Dorchester do is just to create vertical plays down their field, try to pick up big yards in the passing game. But when you got a quarterback that runs it like he does, and a lot of credit goes to the Wando defense, as big number 76 Austin Singleton with a stop there, but they have not thrown the ball down the field 10, 15, 20, 30 yards with success.
You know, sometimes, Dean, even if you don't complete the pass, just throwing it down the field loosens up that defense. So you have these big wide receivers, you have to throw it up and let them just go up and get the football.
Sapp going to tuck it and run again. That is Jake Fetchin flying in like Superman, going to take him down short of the first down. Going to be about 3rd and 8.
Yeah, Trayvon Green also on the stop for the Warriors. Starting to see a lot of white jerseys and fresh names. Wando just rotating guys in and out, just trying to hang on here against this powerful Fort Dorchester offense.
Maybe that's something they learned in that Somerville game when they wore down. Man in motion is Jenkins. He's going to throw it back.
Whoa, is that a live ball?
I think it was in front of the receiver. I think it was a forward pass, but it was incomplete. And that 3rd and 7 from the 27.
And that's a play that needs a little bit of touch. That's the one area that Saab can do. If you take a look at the replay here, that's just a simple throw. It kind of came out of his hands kind of wobbly, as you see.
Happened early in the game when Pelek almost intercepted that ball. The ball came out wobbly, almost as he losing his grip a little bit. I mean, this is a quarterback does not wear gloves. He's going to step back, pressure up the middle. He's going to throw the ball now. That ball is going to be not caught, or caught but out of bounds by number 11, Antoine Parker. And it's going to be a turnover on downs as Wando stops again on a 4th down play.
And I believe I saw Pelek at the end of the play go down. Looked like it was a cramp. So we take a look here. Saab just tried to throw the out. Just a good catch, but unfortunately not in bounds. And as you see Pelek here, he's jumping up and down, and then he goes down. So hopefully it's just a cramp that he caught as they're looking. I think they're attending to him on the sideline, and nothing, I guess, a little more serious as you see at the top of the screen.
Wando takes over at the 28-yard line. Now we've got a little bit more laundry on the field. What seemed to be a fairly clean half in the first. This is about the 6th or 7th flag we've seen so far.
Well, that is a good sign to see Will Pickering of Wando. Looks like they're just stretching his calves out, so maybe just a Charlie horse. 80 degrees tonight, but still a little humid here. A lot of adrenaline and energy being used by these football players, and got to bring out the old pickle juice.
We're going back to pickle juice.
You got to get the pickle juice to get the cramps out.
Reed Garris, sophomore quarterback in the shotgun. Got Harris to his left. Garris hands it off to Harris. Going to pick up about 3 on the play to the outside.
And it really is opposite for Wando. Their quarterback, Garris, basically you just want to manage the game. Kind of a Trent Dilfer type. Not make any mistakes. Just hand the ball off. Run the offense. Execute. Just try to get something on the board for the Warriors.
Garris has run it 22 times this year for 49 yards, thrown it for 307 on 52 attempts. Not a whole lot of throws tonight. A couple of them have been for positive yardage. Bad snap allows that Fort Dorchester defense to swarm and a loss of 4.
And the first Patriot there. And they had 4 guys there, but Emmanuel Johnson, the junior that we talked about, 236 pounds, 6'5". There to disrupt the play for the Warriors and forcing Wando into a 3rd and long situation. And again, Dean, here's a situation based on where the ball is. You don't want to make a mistake here. So just play it safe, punt it away, and let your defense just kind of keep you in this game, maybe force a turnover. Let's see what the Fort does on defense themselves.
McCarthy had a big gain earlier on the pass play. Looks like he's going to go back that way. Underthrows the ball. He had McCarthy wide open down the sidelines. That was the kind of ball that needed a little bit of touch on it.
Yeah, Jaheim Wilson, the DB for the Patriots there, almost came up with the interception. Pass had a little bit of zing on it. You can see why Garris, a top baseball player, but you're right, Dean, a little finesse on that one to get it over the arms of Wilson, and that'll bring on the punt team for Wando.
That, by the way, Fort Dorchester's first 3 and out since the first series of the game. Noonan back into punt. This ball's going to land at about the 50-yard line. It's going to be picked up by DeSuer, and he's going to go down at the 50.
Wow, dangerous play. The nice tackle made by Fetchin for Wando, but yeah. Usually D's want to kind of get away, but he had enough confidence in themselves on the high bounce and able to kind of get a running start as he went forward. Fortunately for him.
Number 38, that is maybe Baylor Williams or Luke McCaleb. He wanted a flag on that play. Felt like he was pushed from behind.
You have to think he's trying to just make something happen. 118, no energy in the stadium, just trying to make something big happen to get his teammates going. And
maybe Nick at night could show us a replay of that again. We've got a Wando Warrior down. I'm not quite sure the number, but they are looking kind of back behind that left knee. Not a cramp situation there. I think that was
Is that Jacob Fitch?
I think it's Jacob Fitch. He was coming down. I think it was Luke McCaleb that had come in to try to make a play. Maybe leg whipped him a little bit. Let's take a look. There's DeSuer. The ball's going to bounce. There's the push in the back. He absolutely had a case against Devon Gilmore.
Yeah, that indeed was Jacob Fitch, 5'11", 195-pound senior linebacker.
And no question, the refs missed one. It's a drive that should be starting at the 35 instead of the 50.
The way this defensive Wando's been playing tonight, those 15 yards are huge.
I'm going to tell you this. I spent about an hour and a half on the phone with Jimmy Noonan the other day, and I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like I got played a little bit.
Really?
I feel like I got played a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Don't have a chance. There's no way. Hope no, the line was, we just got to grab onto grass and hold on. But right now it's a 3-3 game. Sabb pitching it out to Jenkins, going inside. A couple of guys there for Wando, including Nathan Lewis, a linebacker. 8 yards on the pickup.
But that's what you always hear in football, and really just in sports. As long as you and your teammates believe, it doesn't matter what everybody else says. And I'll be honest as well, Dean, I didn't think Wando would have a chance against Fort Dorchester tonight. But that's why you play the game, in the great words of Herm Edwards.
Going back up the middle, that Sabb gets tripped up. Now you got Jenkins, I believe, down, holding on to his left knee or his left ankle.
And also for Wando, you have Justin Pellick kind of limping around, and you have to wonder if the humidity and the fatigue is starting to kick in now.
Some of his teammates were pointing at him and telling somebody to come in, and Pellick was like, no, no. But Pellick's going to go down. I think his is more of a cramp situation going on right now. Yeah, he's pulling on his big toes there.
Got to drink that pickle juice like it's water. You remember the story? We were at Colleton County.
Let's check in with our Chris Nessman. Chris Nessman, you ever drink pickle juice to kind of ward off dehydration?
No. No, I have not. I've seen people do it, but no, I'll stick to Powerade and water. So, or occasionally a Diet Coke, but that's just me. Anyway, we've got here another Chris. This is Chris Kalin from Z93 Jams. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing fantastic, enjoying some football. All right, so you have here
the gigantic Spirit Cup. The gigantic Spirit Cup.
It is pretty gigantic.
It's bigger than me.
That's saying something. All right, so what is this gigantic Spirit Cup, and what do people need to know about it?
All right, so the Spirit Cup are for high schools that participate in the Friday Night Rivals. So we want you to head to z93jams.com to vote. The school with the most votes will receive this Spirit Cup, bragging rights, and we will come to your school and have a pep rally.
That sounds awesome. So music and everything with the pep rally?
Music, everything. I'll be there, which I mean, I think is the best part, but I could be biased. But it's going to be awesome.
All right, so again, Z93 Jams, head to their website, vote for your school, Spirit Cup.
Okay, you guys want it. You need it. Have bragging rights.
All right, Dean, back to you.
All right, Chris, thanks so much. Just 2.4 seconds left on the clock after a first down, and then a couple more runs to another first down. So it'll be a 1st and 27, or 1st and 10 from the 27, should I say, as Fort Dorchester has gone back to the run a little bit. We take a look at the crowd over here at Fort Dorchester. Surprised as well, not seen a score like this in quite some time after 3 quarters of football. It's a 3-3 game. You're watching Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruise Chevrolet. Welcome back to Fort Dorchester. The Fort stunned tonight after 3 quarters of football. It is a 3-3 game. Wando and Fort Dorchester, our Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruise Chevrolet. Game of the night. Watch it here on my TV and on our Facebook page, ABC News 4. Appreciate everybody joining in our live stream on YouTube as well. So Fort Dorchester is going to get the ball here. They will start 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line. Sav is in the backfield. He's going to run it up the middle, out to the right side, actually. He's going to put his shoulder down. He's going to send Bryson Dacus sprawling. But I've been really impressed with the way he runs the football.
Yeah, I mean, again, he runs with authority, looking to initiate contact, and if he can kind of run someone over, that's what he wants to do. So, so far, Saab, you have to think he's probably going to run this every play here in the fourth quarter to hopefully wear down this Wando defense.
That's really where they've got some problems stopping him there, but he's going to throw the ball going downfield. He underthrows it, but it's Chaz Jones with the great hands reaching over the defenders, and the first touchdown of the game from 23 yards out.
It's just on cue. As I said, he's going to run it down their throats. He comes up with a strike to his wide receiver, Chaz Jones. A big catch as he goes over the smaller defenders to come up with the touchdown.
Take a look again. Chaz throws it up.
Went over 2 guys.
Yep, and that's exactly where Jimmy Noonan was a bit concerned when he was talking about some of his defensive backs. He's like 6'1" and 6'3", always beats 5'6".
And especially when you're an athlete like Chaz Jones who can just go up and simply make a play. So actually Wando had it defended nicely, but give credit where credit is due. Fort Dorchester just came up with a nice throw, a nice catch, and that's why they lead 10-3.
So that drive took all of about 2 minutes. 6 plays, went 50 yards.
Taking a look here at the state rankings, Dino. We see
Brought to you by Anderson Brothers Bank tonight.
Fort, 4th in the state. Somerville 8th. Somerville leading right now, 42-17. With 7:14 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Berkeley 10th. And Timberland, who we will see next week at Bishop England.
Yes, we will. So Sabb to Jones. And there's separation in the first touchdown of the game with 11:20 to go in the 4th quarter. Patriots up 10-3 in this game.
And when you think back to last week against Vera, Florida, the team that Fort played, they trailed the majority of that game as well, trailing 28-20 going into the 4th quarter, and then able to outscore them 11-0 in the 4th to get the win.
Two guys deep for Wando right now. Dylan McCarthy and number 4, Will Pickering on the left side. McCarthy on the right. It's going to be an onside kick. And Wando's number 45, Colby McQueen, is right there. So a little bit of a gamble for Fort Dorchester, hoping to catch Wando sleeping on the onside kick.
So take a look at the replay here. When you think about it, team, Wando has had some difficulties moving the ball against Fort Dorchester, except for that one drive that ended in 3 points. So if I'm Steve LaPrade, I'm thinking, hey, my defense has played so well. If I can catch them sleeping, great. If not, my defense should be able to hold them.
I wouldn't have given them an extra 25 yards, 26 yards. Garris has struggled throwing the ball tonight. Not a whole lot of time, but he's going to throw it this time. He's looking McCarthy left. Now he's going to put some air under it. And there's the guy who jumped so well. The pole vaulter had it. And Jahem Wilson, he can fly an airplane all he wants. McCarthy puts his hands on that one. That's a completion.
Yeah, nice throw from Garris. Wilson was underneath, but you're right. McCarthy just could not come up with the catch. Great position by the Fort. McCarthy went to try to catch the ball at its highest peak, but just did not look it into his hands.
Just went right through his gloves. Love the touch by Garris, though. Going to be 2nd and 10 now from the 46. And there's Gilmore showing up here in the 4th quarter, putting a pop and a -2 on Harris.
Yeah, you knew it wouldn't be
now
long.
They're starting to jaw a little bit.
Yeah, you couldn't have Gilmore. You couldn't keep him quiet the entire night. He's too good of a football player. Davon Gilmore, the 6'2", 222-pound linebacker who, from a physical standpoint, Dean, it's safe to say he definitely physically looks like he's ready to play on Saturdays. And you talk about a big 3rd down here for Wando. 3rd and 10. The last thing you want to do is do 3 and out after Fort Dorchester scored on their last possession.
Singleton in motion. He's got Harris out to the right, but he's going to throw it across the middle. He misses Noonan, but a flag's going to come in, probably another holding call, which they will decline and make it 4th and 10. But you're right, a critical 3 and out for Wando.
Jaden Gardner on the coverage for the Patriots, and as Dean correctly predicted, penalty is declined, and the last thing Jimmy Noonan wanted was a 3 and out. Clock never really got a chance to run because the 2 passes on that drive. So now Fort Dorchester will get that offense that now all of a sudden has gotten a little bit of momentum and rhythm going.
I'm going to tell you right now, Wando gets a bit greedy on that throw down the field. Not that it wasn't a good shot at it, but what have they done all game? They've grinded it out.
Right.
They've run the clock down. That possession, they burned off 50 seconds. Noonan with the punt down the left side. It's going to roll out of bounds at the 25-yard line, skipping away from DeSuer and from Wilson.
Now with Wando having so many difficulties moving the ball tonight.
Patriots put up 7. Let's see if they've hit a gear. It's 10-3. You're watching Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruise Chevrolet. We're back after this. Welcome back, everybody, to the Fort, simply known as the Fort. Fort Dorchester. This is your Will Lou Gray Never Stop Learning play of the night. The block punt early on in this ball game would lead to 3 points. As you see the block right there against the punter Noonan. Fort would kick their first field goal, make it 3-0 Wando. Wando answers back with a field goal on their very next drive to make it 3-3. But here to start the fourth quarter, Fort Dorchester starting to put the Jets on just a little bit.
All right. Never stop learning, Dean Stevens.
I try.
People know back in my high school days at Wando, I actually did an internship with you. And 20, 30 years later, I'm still learning from you, my man.
I hear you. To the right side, that's Jenkins. Great containment on the outside by Pellick, and also number 35, Nathan Lewis.
Tell you what, the pursuit by both defenses tonight. Sideline to sideline, linebackers running. You got the biggins up front just doing a great job of clogging up the middle. I've been very impressed with both defenses tonight. I don't think these offenses are bad. I just think both teams' defenses have been phenomenal here this evening.
Indeed. Sabb going to give it back into the belly of Jenkins. Jenkins just simply runs away from number 42, who keeps up with the play, and that's Jake Fetchin again as he runs him into about 3 or 4 white jerseys. Pellick's there as well.
Just no quit in this defense. And Jenkins, I mean, he's very elusive. He's a scat back type of guy, and for Fetchin to be able to run down the line, being 6'1", say 191, that's a great job by him and forces a third down for the Fort offense.
Drive started at the 25-yard line. Sabe's going to look. He's got pressure to the outside, and he runs right into the pressure of number 16, Ramsey Turnage. What a great call by the defense.
All-out blitz, Turnage there. Also, Singleton. The defense of Wando rises to the occasion. A lot of pressure up the middle. And that's my man Singleton commanding the double team, which frees up Mr. Turnage of the Wando Warriors with his little celebratory dance afterwards. And fourth down coming up, and the Wando offense will get it back.
Corey Spites, the punter in for Fort Dorchester, but what a great play call right there from the defense.
I mean, Singleton kind of reminds me of like Dexter Lawrence. I mean, just in the middle, just clogging it up, Dean Stevens.
Will Pickering back. This punt's going to be short, and it's going to jump out of bounds at the 48-yard line. Here's tonight's smooth move of the game, brought to you by Yaden Chiropractic Clinic. Save. inside, throws it deep. This is the touchdown pass that put him up to this guy, Chaz Jones. It is your Yaden Chiropractic Clinic smooth move of the game.
Yeah, our only touchdown of the night thus far. Great throw and catch by the Fort. And that's why they're on top right now, 10-3 in the fourth.
Incomplete pass there from Garris to his running back, Harris.
And Harris is better, as you mentioned, Dean, when he's running up the middle. He's done a great job with those fullback traps. And early in the game, they ran some misdirection with him, and he was able to get in the holes. They've kind of gone away from that. I'd like to see them go back to feeding the ball to him up the middle of the offense.
And again, clock stops on the incomplete pass. He's got Harris to the left. He's coming back to McCarthy. McCarthy's going to pick up 4. Stays in bounds. Clock's going to keep running.
Simple throw there for Garrett. You'd like to see him maybe transfer his weight to the front foot. He's kind of still throwing on his back foot. Kind of step into it, and then maybe if he leads McCarthy up the field a little more, he can kind of catch that on the run and turn up the field. But another third down play coming up for the Wando Warriors. As you see that clock starting to tick, 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 tick. They've got to make the most of these possessions.
7:41, 3rd and 6. He's going to go back and pass again. Pressure to the outside is going to be collapsed. 3 guys, ball also on the turf. Ref's going to say ball down.
So Emmanuel Johnson.
Daquan Robinson also in there as well.
Yes, I believe Deshaun King. So a big third down as both teams come up huge. As we take a look at the replay here, Garris is kind of retreating. I think he wanted to throw the screen, but the Fort Dorchester defense did a great job of blowing that up and not allowing him to get the screen off. So wisely, the sophomore quarterback, Reed Garris, just takes the sack. He'll punt it away and see if his defense can force either a 3 and out or a turnover.
Noonan with a high snap brings it in. Quay Simmons back. Simmons is going to pick it up on a second bounce, and he's going to go right past the first defender, number 16, Ramsey Turnage, but will not get past Anthony Isham.
Yeah, nice coverage by the Wando punt team. It looked like he was going to have a wall along the right side, but as you mentioned, Isham there to make the stop. And now, more importantly, Dean, with 6:47 left in the fourth, Wando cannot allow Fort Dorchester to go on a time-consuming drive.
More importantly, Wando has taken the Fort Dorchester fans out of the game, but they can't take Zaxby's out of the fans' cam. Thanks for Zaxby's for being part of our team this year.
Is that post-game meals at Zaxby's, or how does that work?
I don't know. But
first time.
If there's one on the way home, we're stopping, kid. Saab going to hang it inside to Jenkins. He's going to lose his foot, pick up, not his foot, but his footing. Heck of a pickup for 2 yards if he lost a foot.
And if you're Steve LaPratt, you want to use as much of this play clock as you possibly can. You know, snap the ball with, 3 seconds or left just to try to shorten this game out. You didn't play your best game. Escape this and get out of here with the win. So,
the bad news for Chris Nessman, if Steve LaPratt wins this game, he's got to do a second interview with him after the game. 2nd and 8, Saab in the backfield. Going to fake it, pull it out, doesn't get it. Looks like Jenkins is able to pick it up. Near disaster there, and it just didn't look good from the start.
Yeah, it looked like he wanted to give it to Jenkins. Jenkins didn't want to take it, and that exchange got a little dicey there. Wanda almost able to come up with the turnover.
Tell you what, we have 3 straight 3-and-outs, which we have not had all game long. Both of these teams have had sustained drives, good drives, and then the defense stops them with just 3 scores on the board at this point. But this is a 3rd and 9, 3 receivers up top.
If it's me, Dean, I throw a swing pass to the left, and they're going to throw it to the right instead and incomplete.
And I'm going to tell you something. Antoine Parker absolutely leveled Nick Wilson. But again, a sloppy, I would say sloppy game by Fort Dorchester. Another drop ball right there and a lot of heads hanging on the sidelines. Again, no energy.
5:31 left to play. And you got to figure Wando can get a big return here from Mack and Glover. As he's back deep for the Warriors. Put a little pressure on this Fort D.
It's going to be another line drive punt. And this is just going to stop basically at the 40-yard line. A little extra shove by Kayshawn Edwards at the end of the play. Doesn't need to happen. 15-yard penalty would be tough right there. Let's take a look at our Cruise Chevrolet drive of the game. They go down 3-0. They get the ball back, and they start to move a little bit to Harris. Yeah, okay, so Fort Dorchester with the stop of the drive of the night, putting up the big stop sign, and a couple of nice plays there by the Fort Dorchester defense. And another cramped situation on the field for Wando. We've got 5:21 left in this game. They'll have the ball at about the 38-yard lines.
I'll tell you this, Dean, I don't know much, but I know I've got a friend in the car business at Cruise Chevrolet.
What about now Steve LaPrade would like to get in one of his big trucks over there and just kind of drive off. But think about it. You know, they're 46-3 in their last 49 games. Those losses to who?
Dutch Fork, I believe, twice, and someone in the playoffs. I know Dutch Fork beat them last 2 times. I can't remember who the third, but yeah, I mean, again, 46-3. That's just, and we were starting to talk about it earlier, just how the Low Country, you think back into the 90s when you had the dominance of Somerville, and then Stratford had it for a while, and then, of course, Berkeley had it. Then Chuck Reedy and the Goose Creek Gators, and now Fort Dorchester. And it seems like as you go through, as you take a look here, their last region loss came 4 years ago. Now, granted, this is not a region game, but losing to Ashley Ridge 42-34. So,
Crunch the numbers brought to you by Anderson Brothers Bank, by the way. Appreciate them for joining up and being part of our team. But yeah, you don't see them lose. You don't see them lose at home very often either.
Yeah, I mean, I believe last home loss would have been 2 or 3 years ago to Dutch Fork. And that was a wacky week where I think they had a player either died or it was just a really weird week for Fort Dorchester.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. See what they do here. They're going to go back to the run. Harris to the outside, going to cut it back in a little bit. Going to be slammed to the ground after picking up about 2 yards. That's Devon Gilmore.
Hey, I just love the way that, Will Harris runs the football. Kind of reminds me of Mike Allstock back in the days, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, just covering the ball up, running hard, and just trying to get every yard he possibly can.
He may end up with about 35 carries and may not have a ton of yardage.
So change our quarterback
team. He is just grinding. Will Pickering coming in. He's got Singleton in motion. He's got Garris next to him. He's going to pick it up and try to get to the outside. Cuts inside, going to pick up maybe back to the line of scrimmage.
You normally don't see that in 5A football. A guy starts as linebacker on the defensive side, and now he's playing quarterback. So we're seeing the versatility of Will Pickering, and right now he has to somehow find a way to come up with 9 yards if he wants to extend this drive for Wando.
And I don't see
Garris is not even on the field.
I don't see Garris back on the bench or if the training staff is looking at him. But I will tell you this, in spring practice, their #1 quarterback coming into this season, Andrew Bobby, was injured, lost him for the year. And that's why Garris steps up. Pickering doesn't have a whole lot of time back there. He's going to sprint to the right. He's going to look to the right. He's going to have a short pass. And he's got 2 receivers there.
He did.
And neither of them wanted to go for the football thinking that maybe it was for the other one. It was Glover and Noonan.
Oh, yeah, Kellen Noonan and Mackin Glover there. We'll take a look at the secondary here for Fort Dorchester. Great job kind of just shadowing the Wando wide receivers and not really giving him an option to throw. So great defense that time by the secondary of Fort Dorchester.
I don't know if Noonan, he had a spot there open in that zone where if he'd have just turned and sat, he would have had 2 open receivers right there. They're going to go back. They'll look at that play tomorrow and Monday and go, we missed one right there.
This is a huge gamble for Noonan, punting with 4 minutes left here in the 4th quarter.
Fort Dorchester's going to let this ball just fly and bounce. It's going to go back to about the 32-yard line. So Noonan punts. As for our Low Country Ortho and Sports Medicine player of the game, get back in the game with Facts SS to Low Country Orthopedic and Sports Medicine's 5 locations located in Somerville, North Charleston, Moncks Corner, Daniel Island. It seems as though that's how much the Andre the Giant Saab has run tonight. He has been elusive, he has been physical, and he is our Low Country Orthopedics Medicine, Sports Medicine, player of the game. And the go-ahead touchdown pass to Jones.
Sapp's taking a lot of hits tonight. He may need some ortho attention on tomorrow. But what a tough kid Steve DePratt has in terms of DeAndre Sapp, the quarterback for the Fort Dorchester Patriots.
I'm not sure what happened there, but they are marking this ball back about 10 yards from where it went out of bounds. I did not see a flag come down. The officials are having a conversation.
So I heard the PA say holding. Now Wando, as you see, they have 2 timeouts left. So you have to think Coach Nooning and his staff, they'll utilize both of those timeouts. I don't think we'll see Fort Dorchester put the ball in the air. But more importantly, Wando cannot allow Fort Dorchester to pick up 10 yards.
I'm absolutely stunned that we've had 5 straight 3-and-outs. This part of the game, you would think the defense would be tiring.
With the offense, it's just not really been in neither offense. It's just really been in sync tonight.
Wando has gone to the pass more in the last 3 possessions than they have the entire game. Fort Dorchester now, you got to think, is going to run the ball. They're going to hand it off to Jenkins to the inside, but that Fort Dorchester interior defense lets him get through, but he throws it on the ground, and it's going to be a recovered fumble by number 35, Nathan Lewis.
And that could not have worked out better for the Wando Warriors. The big run by Jenkins up the middle, and Nathan Lewis, the 6'1" senior linebacker, in the right spot at the right time. See, Jenkins got into the secondary, and the fumble, it looked like
Ramsey Turnage.
Yeah, got a hand there and kind of poked it away, and that's the break the Wando Warriors needed as they're back now on offense.
And Will Pickering back at quarterback, looking right, going to scramble out. And he's going to get sacked back at the 45-yard line.
Looks like for the Fort Dorchester Patriots, looks like Brandon Johnson, the 6'3" juniors. We take a look again at the fumble. Like I said, he got into the secondary, and the hand just poked out by Turnage. That's why you never give up on the play, Dean Stevens, because stranger things can happen. And Wando got the break they needed. Now, offensively, can they get anything going here over the last 3:05? And Wando, they need to have a sense of urgency right now. Clock running. They've got to go 46 yards to reach the end zone.
Pickering's going to roll out, looks to throw the ball, going to go across the field, tips it from one into the hands of Dylan McCarthy.
I was about to say, the one thing you don't want to do is throw across your body. That time Pickering rolling left, tried to throw right, and right now Wando getting all the breaks. His ball was tipped and right into the hands of their big play wide receiver, Dylan McCarthy.
So again, this pass play that previous possession, and now you've got problems with the quarterback, Will Pickering. He's down at about the 48-yard line. Looks to be a cramp issue as well.
I got to tell you, Dean, on the fumble recovery, we had a shot of the Wando sideline. I saw a guy that obviously had taken his pads off. I've never seen Reed Garris up close, but I'm wondering if that was him, if he may have gotten hurt, and we just didn't see it.
There's a guy on crutches over there. I think it's number 11.
Okay, that wasn't him. That's Brian Rodeheave. But this guy, you could tell he had on just the undershirt. He'd already played.
All right, let's first talk about our Cheer of the Week. Winner goes to Fort Dorchester tonight. Congratulations to them. Maybe we get shot of that sidelines, go up and down, maybe look for number 12, Reed Garris. We have not, he came out in the last possession. That is Will Pickering down on the field right now.
Bookman, the head trainer, attending to him.
I think they're looking at the right leg. I think that's what he's talking about.
So you have to ask yourself, if Pickering can't go.
There is, I'm going to go ahead and interrupt you because the depth chart didn't go further than number 4.
Maybe that's when you get into the Wildcat formation. You just snap it back.
I think that would be Singleton to take the Wildcat.
Oh, that he's lining up, walking that way. So, yeah, it'll be Singleton. So Jaden Singleton, the 5'10 junior running back now will have to, or will it be?
I think it's going to be Harris.
Will Harris.
He will be the third guy taking snaps tonight. I wonder if he can throw the ball. He's going to cut to the outside. There's too much pressure to the outside. And I want to tell you, you got a 3rd and 8, and you got limited options and opportunities here. And you really didn't have any other chance but maybe to run the ball.
And obviously Fort Dorchester knows that as Darrell Ware was the Patriot on the stop. They're bringing out the punt team? No.
No, it looks like it's going to be close to a 53-yard field goal.
But why?
Andrew Weil.
You're down by 7.
Maybe you kick the 3 to make it 10-6, and then you get the onside kick.
We know that Weil has a big leg. This would be a 52-yarder if he can connect. We've seen him on kickoffs put the ball into the back of the end zone. Man, you have to feel bad for Jimmy Noonan and the Wando Warriors coming in with having a chance here at the end, and unfortunately getting quarterbacks. Only had 2 coming in, both of them going down. Take a look at the marching Patriots. Something about marching bands, Dean. It's kind of just add something to it. That's why high school football and college football, pageantry is just, it's different than on Sundays when it's just the NFL.
So you're saying you would rather watch Saturday all day than Sunday
absolutely.
all day?
I mean, there's nothing more exciting. The most exciting 25 seconds, Dean.
Well, we could have a really exciting minute 34 here, and I'm going to tell you something. If the snap is good and the hold is good, there's no question Andrew Weil has the leg for a 52-yard field goal.
He's in the inside of the hash mark, so.
There's a snap, it's down.
He's got it.
Going to be a little short.
Ooh, kicked it 50.
Going to be a little short.
He needed it to be 52. But what a leg by Andrew Weil. No shame there, Dean. I mean, that was dead on. He had it lined up, just could not get that extra ump.
We've got some people checking to see what happened to the quarterback, Reed Garris. Will Pickering came in, and then he comes out after looked like something to his right leg. Now Pickering is back in on defense, though. A minute 27 left. Fort Dorchester will have the ball at the 20-yard line. Wando still has 2 timeouts left. So if you're Fort Dorchester, how do you play this?
You just run the football, make them take their 2 timeouts, and then on 3rd down you run and just use as much time as you possibly can, because they won't be able to stop the clock anymore.
Sab's going right up the middle. He's got that huge offensive line finally giving him a great push as a unit. As a unit, they make the move. Steve LaPratt said this is the best offensive line that he's had here in his time at the Fort.
This is when you go back to those summer workouts, when you're in the gym and you're lifting, and it's all about the 4th quarter. Well, this is where it pays off right here on this final drive. You have to get that extra push to finish this game out.
They're going to let the clock run down. 58 seconds now running.
Yeah,
the 25 seconds clock is stopped at 19, though, so I'm not quite sure exactly what's happening here.
Wando's not going to take any timeouts.
I think Jimmy. Again, there's a flag on the field now, probably for delay of game. That's what they're going to give him. Steve LaPratt is going to wonder why his own home team guy running the 25-second clock decided to hit stop at 19 seconds. But Steve LaPratt has got to be wanting to pull his hair out tonight. And even though it looks highly likely that they will walk away with a win, I would assume that the post-game interview with our own Chris Nessman will not be any rosier than it was at halftime.
Yeah.
Sab's going back up the middle. And he's going to break every tackle.
And
that was just pure fatigue setting in. DeAndre the Giant goes 65 yards, 75 yards for the 2nd touchdown of the night with 25 seconds left to make it a 16-3 game.
You're so right, Dean. That's just pure fatigue. Wando left it all on the field. They just came up 29 seconds short. Give credit to the Fort Dorchester Patriots as Saab takes it to the house, finishes this game off. And sometimes you need those games, Dean, where you don't play your best, but you still somehow find a way to win. The offense was not what it normally is for Fort Dorchester, but tonight the defense came to play, and that's why they're going to get the win against Wando.
Point after is good. And with all that being said, as we take a look at the run up the middle, Pickering kind of gets shielded off, and then just a couple of guys fall over each other, and then Sav is off and running.
That's why you keep those legs moving, those legs chirping. Got to chop, chop, chop.
When you take a look at the size, you take a look at the depth, and as Jimmy Noonan says, physics was not in their favor tonight because of the size of the two teams and the differential. But Wando came with heart tonight, and they came with a great game plan, I thought, offensively and defensively.
And they competed. And if you're Jimmy Noonan, that's what's important, is your team continues to grow and take that next step. Hopefully you can build off of this and said, hey, we went toe-to-toe with the fourth best team in the state. Didn't come up with the win, but hopefully they can learn from this and be able to, be able to finish a game. Their 2 losses. They played well for 3 quarters, but could not put it all together for 4.
They lose to Somerville. They come back and beat Stahl. He said the upside here is kids are showing up every day. They're willing to work. He said you lay your head down at night, and the kids are giving it their all. Progress will come as long as those kids want to work. As McCarthy lets the ball get behind him, he's just going to fall on it at the 8-yard line. And that's what I saw tonight. I had not seen Wando play as the flag comes down late at about the 28-yard line. Things getting a little chippy and chirpy maybe. I had not seen them play this year. When I talked to Jimmy about not being able to field and not having the numbers for a JV team, we talked about the possibilities why. And his biggest concern right now for this program is simply depth. It's simply depth. He said it's a 2A, 3A type of deal where you've got to be able to play guys both sides of the ball.
And that's all you can ask for as a coach, is to play to the final whistle. And that's what Wando did tonight. I mean, they literally left it all on the field. And if you're Jimmy Noonan, again, you just have to build off of this. This Wando team, if they play this way for the rest of the season, they're going to win a lot of football games. They're not going to find teams better than, a Fort Dorchester or Somerville. So they can kind of match this effort and maybe gain a little more depth. This could be a team that can make some noise here down the stretch.
What does Wando have to look forward to? They go to a West Ashley team that impressed us early on, but looked to be losing tonight. They were blown out the last 2 nights. You also got some Fort Dorchester players right now over in their side. Gilmore giving a head pat to Noonan, Kellen Noonan. I also saw Kassan Edwards, who kind of walked over there when they were huddling it up. But they get West Ashley next, and then Ashley Ridge, Berkeley. It's 3 tough games. Then finish up with Stratford, Coos Creek, Cane Bay, and James Island. And then you got to delay a game here against Wando.
Dean, I'm looking forward to next week. You and I together again over on Daniel Island as John Canny and the Battling Bishops will welcome Timberland Wolves.
Will Pickering still in quarterback. He's going to have it. He's going to roll out to the right. He's going to run it up the middle a little bit, get tackled. 20 seconds running down off the clock. As for what Fort Dorchester looks forward to coming up, after winning tonight 17-3 at Berkeley, at Goose Creek, and then host West Ashley and finish up with Stahl, Ashley Ridge, and Somerville. So Fort Dorchester picks up a hard-fought win tonight. Not a blowout as many people expected. A 17-3 win, 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns, the difference in this ball game. And a heck of an effort and a great performance by Wando tonight. We will come back with post-game festivities. Coming back, you're watching Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Welcome back to Fort Dorchester. Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Want to toss it down to Chris Nessman, who's standing by with the winners of this game, Fort Dorchester Patriots.
All right, hey, thanks, Dean. Yeah, first off, we've got our low country orthopedics player of the game, DeAndre Sabb, right here. Congratulations. Thank you. All right. Okay, so secondly, Coach LaPlane, very close game throughout a good chunk of it, and then finally you guys came out in the end.
Yeah.
What would you have to say about your players in today?
Well, I was glad we won, obviously. You know, I don't think we played real well. I thought Wando played a fantastic game. They took a fight to us, and, you know, we got to do a lot better. We didn't play very well tonight. I thought they did a fantastic job. Their coaching staff should be commended.
All right, and then next game, Berkeley. What are you guys going to do to prepare between now and then?
Well, we're going to start in the morning because we got a lot of work to do. We got to play a whole lot better than we played tonight, or we'll be in trouble.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Steve LaPrade hoisting the trophy, another win here at home, 17-3, the final score. From our best rough guess, the player of the game, DeAndre the Giant, had about 170 yards rushing tonight. I want to thank all of our sponsors for making Friday Night Rivals possible. Got a great game coming up next week, Timberland and Bishop England. Tonight's final score. Tune in later at ABC News 4 at 11 o'clock for Friday Night Rivals for a complete rundown of the scores from around the Low Country. For Everett German, all the guys in the truck, on the field, in the press box, great job, crew. See you next week on Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz.